sass in every way. Talking fast, not a pause in sight. Leanie's got my head in a spin tonight. Oh, shut up, Leanie, can't you see? You talk so much, it's drowning me. With your white hair and sassy flair, just give me a breath, let me share. Podcast queen with a wicked smile, running jokes mile after mile. Try to speak, but in she slides. Leanie makes it a wild ride. With a wicked smile, running jokes mile after mile. Try to speak, but in she slides. Leanie makes it a wild ride. Oh, shut up, Leanie, can't you see? You talk so much, it's drowning me. With your white hair and sassy flair, just give me a breath, let me share. Oh, Leanie, don't get me wrong, can't imagine life without your song. But girl, you've gotta let me in. This ain't just your show to win. So here I stand with my mic in hand, trying to keep this show as planned. Leanie laughs, guess it's gonna stay a little secret every day. Trying to keep this show as planned. Leanie laughs, guess it's gonna stay a little secret every day. Oh, shut up, Leanie, can't you see? You talk so much, it's drowning me. With your white hair and sassy flair, just give me a breath, let me share. Let me share. Oh, Leanie, don't get me wrong, can't imagine life without your song. But girl, you've gotta let me. This ain't just your show to win. Oh, shut up, Leanie, can't you see? You talk so much, it's drowning me. With your white hair and sassy flair, just give me a breath, let me share. Oh, Leanie, don't get me wrong, can't imagine your life without your song. But girl, you've gotta let me. This ain't just your show to win. So here I stand with my mic in hand, trying to keep this show as planned. Leanie laughs, guess it's gonna stay a little secret every day. So here I stand with my mic in hand, trying to keep this show as planned. Leanie laughs, guess it's gonna stay a little secret every day. Oh, 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 oh. It started with a chat, just a few of us there, talking about life and the stuff we all share. From kids to chaos and the mess we make, we bonded over laughs and every mistake. From bad hair days to a joke or two, no topic was off limits, nothing taboo. We laughed till we cried, had each other's backs. A sisterhood formed in the middle of tracks. Sisterhood of the chat, we're strong and we're loud. From West Virginia, Liverpool, we're proud. From Texas to Australia, we've got the best. Lifting each other up, we pass every test. From the East Coast to the West, we cheer. From Indiana to New York, we're always here. From late night texts to early morning calls, we've been through it all, big and small. From talking fashion to the crazy stuff, we got each other's backs when life gets tough. We send memes and pics of the day gone wrong and the occasional "can you believe this song?" We share everything, no secrets to keep, like a wild dream that we never want to sleep. Sisterhood of the chat, we're strong and we're loud. From West Virginia, Liverpool, we're proud. From Texas to Australia, we've got the best. Lifting each other up, we pass every test. From the East Coast to the West, we cheer. From Indiana to New York, we're always here. From Tennessee, where the music plays, to sweet tea nights and lazy days. From England's hills to the country roads, our sisterhood's a bond that forever grows. Sisterhood of the chat, we're strong and we're loud. From West Virginia, Liverpool, we're proud. From Texas to Australia, we've got the best. Lifting each other up, we pass every test. From the East Coast to the West, we cheer. From Indiana to New York, we're always here. Through the highs and the lows, we've been there. When the world feels heavy, we just don't care. We're loud, we're bold, we're a little bit wild. but always there for each other, with hearts so mild. Sisterhood of the chat, we're strong and we're loud. From West Virginia, Liverpool, we're proud. From Texas to Australia, we've got the best. Lifting each other up, we pass every test. From the East Coast to the West, we cheer. From Indiana to New York, we're always here. So here's to the sisters who make life so sweet. We've got each other, no defeat. From the chat to the heart, it's all the same. We're a sisterhood forever in the friendship game. According to Leanie, the eclipse is to blame. But truly the Lord brought us together, and we'll never be the same. She started off observing. She kept to herself her wording. She saw the need for a friend indeed to all those deserving. She travels the world through your eyes. She listens and sometimes cries. She wants to know what makes you whole and cares without disguise. According to Leanie, she welcomes you here. A laugh, a song, sometimes a tear. A friend, a foe, a stranger. Your life story, your moments of glory. You're sad, you're happy, your dreams and your worries. She wants to know the ins and outs of all of you here. According to Leanie, according to Leanie, she welcomes you here. A laugh, a song, sometimes a tear. A friend, a foe, a stranger. Your life story, your moments of glory. You're sad, you're happy, your dreams and your worry. She wants to know the ins and outs of all of you here. According to Leanie, she wants to know what it is all about. According to Leanie, oh, welcome here where we all just figure life out. So sit back and yak, smile and laugh, have a cup or two. Leanie is coming on right now, she welcomes you. Let's hear life according to Leanie.
Good evening.
What is all that noise?
What's the matter?
What is all that crashing and banging?
I don't know. I didn't hear anything. Is Leanie in the kitchen?
She must be, because I don't like a lot of. It can't be just me that heard that.
Whoa! I didn't hear anything.
Did you hear it?
Did anyone in the chat hear that?
It can't be just me that heard that.
Negative, girlfriends. I had
What happened? Just a load of smashing.
Don't blame
Not
that
lunch,
on me.
is it? I wondered if it was me pulling my mic. Hang on.
Oh, that's exactly what it
Was
was.
it this?
Yeah, it'll be that.
Can you hear it?
No. It
No.
was Leanie coming in with a bang.
No, it wasn't. Leanie's been
She made
sitting here. I've been sitting here with my mic off the whole time. I knew one of y'all was getting your asses kicked in your own homes, and I was just letting it happen.
It must be your own, Maggie.
I thought you did. What?
Maggie, it was you straight up.
It wasn't me. Never moved.
Yeah, because you think we're moving.
Yeah, but I've just said to you, can you hear that? And you said no. Listen.
Okay, Maggie, did you drop anything? Who dropped something?
It sounded like pots and pans.
Okay, I promise. Lord have mercy. Listen, I don't know what's happening here. Y'all giving me some freaky.
Channel, I think, according to Leanie, is definitely haunted because you know what? I keep writing messages in the chat and they're fucking not going in the chat. They're still in the typing fields. I'm saying hello to people coming in, and it's still there. I'm like, oh my god.
It sounded like pots and pans. You sure
it-
Alec wasn't dropping pans or something?
No, Alec went out the room, and I said, because when he first went out, I said he was talking to the dog, and he was whispering. I said, "It's okay, the mic's on mute." And then he went out into the kitchen, and he opened the door, and I put my hands up to let him know the mic was on. Honestly,
That's what we heard. When this is over, sister friend, you go back and listen to it. We heard, oh honey, slamming the door and being just, let's go.
did you slam the door? Because I'll slam you. Did you?
Well, it
Why is he
sounded like
saying
it. It sounded like you're getting your ass kicked, Maggie. Okay.
Wait till he comes in the room in a minute. Just wait now.
All right. Anyways, hi everybody. Let's take.
How do you
some
know,
more.
Lunchy? Shut up. Mean girls.
Everybody heard it
Ah, fuck off. Why am I getting the blame?
Because your
because my
grey
mic
thing
was
was
off.
moving.
So was Lizzo's.
No, but your thing were moving. You know, the ring around your circle every time it clattered, that were moving.
Which?
You know
You
the
know
ring.
Go ahead.
I don't know what it was.
Maggie,
The
then.
ring around your picture. You know your photo, your avatar. There's that ring that
Yeah,
moves.
it pulsates, doesn't
Yeah.
it? When you
Well,
talk?
yours was pulsating every time there was this loud clatter.
Well, I tell
And-
you what, I'm more deaf than I even thought I was, because I've warned him about shutting the fucking door. It's going to be amazing now.
No, don't murder him. We need him
I
around.
will maze and mind your own business.
Hey, that is my business.
I want
He
to maze
is my
him
business.
for content. I will.
Oh, for content. Okay, content is a whole different story. Okay.
Exactly. Imagine it. I'll give you the best photos, everything. I'll zoom right in at the strangulation mark. I'll zoom right in.
Let's go ahead and take roll call, you guys. There's always going to be murder in the house. There's always going to be murder in the house when us girls are together. Listen, even if they're in chat, we're screaming at each other. You can bet that we're yelling at each other.
You woke J Brad up.
I know. When he comes in, I'm going to say the fucking Americans are on my case here.
I promise. Listen, the minute we close this out, Max, just listen to Lizzo singing in the background, and then it goes.
Made up for you. I am.
And it was completely
made
you.
up. It wasn't me then. It must have been out.
Okay, and it was your honey. Shut up, Maggie. I'm done talking to you.
Yes, the lorry is getting some marinades. I've already got a set, John. Don't need them any better. Nobody cares. Shut up. Cow. You know what? It now.
All right, here we do have a situation. You ain't joking. All right, listen. Here we go. Let's take some roll call. You son of a biscuit eater. Just Becca was here. Hello, love bug. Good to see you, honey. Anomaly, good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Lunch lady, y'all, is here, the real one at that. I just sent a picture of me with my chicken. Super excited. I'll check it out. Thank you. You know what? Oh, we have 2 lives open. Okay. I was like, wait a second. I don't see Lisbeth at all. Oh, this. I was just talking about you, Lizzo. Okay.
What?
It's all. Hello, Possum the cat. Good to see you. Wild Angels in the house. Hello. And anybody else who don't I see? There might be some. John H. Welcome. Get some hearing aids for real. For real. She can't believe she didn't hear. You know what? It's because it's the noise she's used to. That's why. Hazel, I love. When is the show gonna start? I take love back for your name, Hazel. I mean, geez, Louise. If we're speaking, it started. The hell? Hold on. So we're not allowed to joke around or have fun. You just want You better be getting on that CNN stuff, girlfriend, where they don't joke and play. Because here we have chit chats and we have little talks, and sometimes we go off on a tangent. And sometimes shit happens here before we ever get into it. And you know what? There have been times that we've never even got into it. Don't push it. Telling you people, listen. Hazel hasn't even said hello to us. She just comes in blasting us. Like, the fuck? When the hell is the damn show going to start? When the hell are you people going to shut up and start the show?
I'm awful glad Hazel come in. I'm getting.
Oh, suck it, Maggie. Nobody
Thank you,
cares.
Hazel. Thank you, Hazel, for coming in, saving my life. You suck it, Leanie.
All right, Hazel, we're going to get back to it. All right, for the love of God. Jeez Louise. Maggie, don't be so rude putting that over that beautiful desert.
Oh,
There you go. That's
there it is. It was
Did
that noise.
That was that noise.
Before, everyone in the chat, everyone on the fucking panel.
Oh no, we need some
making the noise. I said, I have made it. You know, you going out that door is like a tornado. What's to say to you? Be quiet. He's standing looking at me like what the fuck?
Because the poor man walks in the
Can
door
you be quiet when you're going
sorry.
out that door? Because it's dead loud. And it's sounding like crashing everywhere, I believe. And you've just woke fucking JB up. Oh, no, did you hear what he said?
Hi.
Oh, pardon fucking me, he said.
Tell him you woke up the FBI. It's not just JB.
What?
Tell him you woke up the FBI. It's not just JB. I mean, it's the
she
whole
said,
freaking, yeah. Oh God. It's all right, honey. We forgive you.
Shut up now. I'm getting talked about all over the place. You better shut up. Lizzo fucking blew me up first. Shut up, Maggie. Your thing was pulsate and you know going around your picture. Fuck off, Lizzo. Fucking snitch. Fucking snitch. We've got a snitching. Snitches get stitches, Gail. Wait, you see you later.
Oh dear.
Listen, Lizzo popped her car right there.
Hazel's got off.
Hazel's like, fuck off, and you know, y'all.
Yeah, Hazel's thought, so fuck you. You used to sound like you're in an asylum.
Listen, JLR's back. I'll just go hang out with him. He started his show already.
She's come to tell us.
That's because he ain't got no one else to talk to. Another
God.
We don't have friends on panel. Oh, man. Listen, nobody loves us, you guys. They use us. All right, listen, suck it for real and welcome. No. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to it. Girls, what's going on? What is going on? We've got Brian Enton. We've got JLR. We've got more YouTubers heading out there again. What's going on? Tell me what's going on. Is something fixing a break that we don't know about?
They're all saying they think there's something going to go on. That's what they're saying.
Hi, Haley. Hazel said, I've already been over at JLR's.
Something's going to get on.
That's what Hazel said to me. I think something's going on too. I just find it awfully okay. I'm kind of surprised that JLR is flying back out this soon, but I was more surprised to hear that Brian Enton went back right away, like right now.
I'm not surprised at all because he said if anything was going to go off, he was going to go back.
No, but what I'm saying is that's what makes me think something's going to go off because Brian Enton went back into that,
Enton's
right?
going as well. Yeah.
Hi, Margaret. Good to see you.
Hi, Margaret. Welcome back, Hazel.
Yep, welcome back. So, do you think that it has anything to do with, or is something really going to go off, or are they preparing that maybe something could happen because Savannah Guthrie's going back to work?
I don't know if it's anything to do with that. I feel like something, I don't know, maybe there's going to be an arrest. I don't know.
What about you, Liz? What do you think about them all going back?
I mean, I have my own opinions as to why some of them have headed back. Because
Well, give it to us. We want to know.
it's a good money maker. Let's just say I'm not referring to JLR here or Brian Entin, but I know there's another YouTuber going back as well. So for some, I think maybe it's a money grabbing thing. You know, it's good for them to make money.
I think that's fair. I think that's a very fair statement.
Now, Brian Entin, I'm not sure, because he did say he would return when, you know, when something broke in the case. But yeah, he's gone back before anything's broke.
There was something about to be broken. Ooh.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
I mean, go ahead, Liz. Sorry.
I think they should be searching nearer to home, is what I think. You know.
Well, they have, especially Brian Entin. We know his sources work, y'all, because he was inside the perimeter during.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah.
So I mean, they've got people that are looking out for them, and just, Brian Entin, of course, has got the more serious kind of sources, and then, you know, let's not count out JLR, you guys. I mean,
JLR spoke to that guy, didn't he? For a long while,
and he's made a lot of friends there, a lot of connections.
Yeah,
they're going to search and put leaflets out. They're going to do a lot together. There's a group of them.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful. I did hear that. I did hear him say, "Look, if you're in the area and you want to come help, that's so nice." It's putting, and I know that probably maybe upset some people, but shit, I mean,
they've all been talking and arranged it.
You got to do, at some point, this is just what I believe. At some point, you just got to do something. And would that be impeding an investigation? Is that going to stop any? I don't think it's going to cause any problems for the investigation either. I mean, what's the harm? I've
been listening to something today by an ex-cop, Lee, saying he doesn't understand when, you know, that is it Equisearch, if I got it right?
Yeah. Yes. Are they coming back?
Help, they offered their help now. They offered their help at a time in you know, that it happened, that they'd opened the house and everything was done basically that they wanted to do. They were looking at other things, and he doesn't understand why they were stopped at that time. It just doesn't make sense.
Are you kidding? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they wouldn't allow them. Yeah.
They wouldn't allow Equisearch to go in?
No.
Why?
Cajun Navy. I know that's a dodgy Cajun Navy, but they wouldn't let them either.
But as they said, Equisearch is renowned for, you know, going in and doing searches, and they're really good at it. And they were refused by the sheriff.
Hi, Lolly.
So you've got to ask why this sheriff is turning everyone away and not wanting their help. What's he got to hide? Why not?
It makes you think, because he's so dodgy anyway with everything that's come out. It starts making, I mean, I've been thinking stuff, I've been thinking all kinds about everything now. But you just don't know, do you? Never know. It's as simple as that. Anything is possible at this stage.
Well, you know, there are still quite a few people that think the sheriff is involved in some sort of way.
Yeah.
John wants to know the sheriff. Did he do it? Margaret says, because he's a nutter.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, you know, we say it over and over. Everything is still can be put into the puzzle, and we're not taking anything off the table. Now, for me, the girls have their own puzzle going on over there. You guys, we're putting our own puzzles together. But for me, I'm not going to consider Donald Trump or the aliens. Other than that, come at me. Yeah. Come at me with what you think. But I mean, it makes me wonder, is something in this, maybe he doesn't directly have something to do with it, but
maybe he knows more.
Oh, see, I wasn't thinking about that. Does he know the criminals?
Yeah,
because
he's covering for them.
Yeah, that's a good thought. But the other thing I was thinking was, will this case uncover something that he's done?
Maybe
Hi,
so.
Marion. Good to see you. Thank you so much.
Hi, honey.
Wild Angel says, remember the Kylie Rodney case, similar thing happened with that. I didn't follow that case, to be honest. I wasn't even on YouTube when that happened.
I watched all of that, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then there's been a couple things that have come out in the last day and a half, 2 days.
Oh, new ears subscribe. Thanks very much, Marion. Another
That's very
subscriber,
kind.
Lee.
Thank
Can
you so
everyone hit
much.
the like, please? Thank you.
Oh, listen, troublemaker number 1 is in the house, y'all.
Oh, where is it?
Alex Cleary. He was last night's token husband of YouTube for me. He's funny
Hi,
as
Alex.
hell. Alex Cleary is one of the most funniest people I've ever seen on here.
Stop lying. You
and
say that to me all the time.
Well, I said one of the most.
Alex,
So that
don't
means
come in here thinking you're replacing me.
Oh, listen, but Alex is he. Remember, I told you this early this
I'm
morning.
only kidding, Alex.
Their humor is just like ours. Listen,
yeah.
Chat at 19. At 19. Chat during the night when we're covering cases, you guys. Oh, listen, daytime chat, we got to get on that level because they are funny as hell and they will keep you awake and it's so fun. But anyways, back to this. So a couple of things have come out since I think the last big thing that happened was the whole Savannah Guthrie videos. Do you guys have anything? Have you guys learned anything else about that, or you have anything that you want to speak on? Because I went ahead and did another live on it by myself at nighttime, but we haven't spoken since we listened to all 3 of them. Yeah. The last one. What do you guys think about that?
I've been watching. I don't know whether you've been watching Banfield and the things that she's told us, what she's found out.
Yeah, so, well, I pulled that up, and we'll listen to it.
I've got that ready myself.
Oh, yeah. You do? Okay, good. So I'll take mine down. Liz, what do you think? Do you have anything about
interviews? No, not really. I mean, obviously we can't get Dateline, so I don't know if anything happened on that.
Was it good? Did you watch it, Lee?
I did not watch it. And the reason is because hold on. The reason is something happened that night.
Does anyone in chat watch it?
Yeah, somebody in chat had to have watched it, and but something happened that night, and I didn't get to watch it. And then to tell you the truth, I forgot about it till last night. That's the truth. But you know, stuff happens in your real life, and you have to.
Yeah, because we need you to share us it. I mean, I can get it if I want. I'll download that for me.
Yeah, we can do it on the side. We just can't do it because if you guys notice one of my lives recently, which I knew was going to be taken down. It was taken down because I showed 2020 again. The one where I talked about my theory on the latest Savannah Guthrie video.
Oh, yeah.
It got taken down because I went ahead and showed all 3 of them put together as in one whole thing. And I told everybody, I said, this is coming down. So lucky y'all are here. So I wasn't surprised to see it. Hi, Viper. Good to see you, love bug. And Alex knows a Scouser when he hears a Scouser. Just letting you know that. Maggie,
where are you from, Alex? God, that's can't be American now, me a Scouser. I can't get over it. Do you know where he's from, Lee?
No.
Well,
I had medicine in my mouth. Sorry. I said I ain't telling.
He's from Dublin. I love the Irish accent, Alex.
Do you know I did not even know, and I should have known by looking at that name.
Cleary.
Yeah.
See, I wouldn't have got onto that. I'm here.
Yeah, no, I was
just I've been listen, since we've been following Jody Arias, I've been having a ball with Alex and all those people in the nighttime chat. Listen, if you got insomnia, y'all, if you got insomnia or you wake up to pee or you're just like, oh, I can't sleep right now. You're up for 5 minutes, getting you a snack of grapes and something really, really healthy for you to eat before you go back to bed. Check into According because we're probably here. And it is great fun. Hazel is tapping her feet.
I can hear it from here. Like that.
Okay, now I just say I've been loving me some Hazel. Hazel, I'm back to you loving your name. That shit's funny.
Say it as it is, Hazel. Just be you.
It's like, you know what? None of you three are impressing me, bitches. Can we just get to what we're here? What does the title say?
This is what Hazel's doing. Hazel, is this what you're doing right now? Tell me the truth, Hazel. Is this you? Not impressed at all.
Let's get on with it.
All right.
Okay.
Hello,
we better get on with it.
Hello, Hope's Echo. Good to see you, love. I
Yes,
hope
sir.
you're okay. All right. You know what? Let's go ahead and pull up our Banfield, our sweet Banfield. She's funny as hell. I like her.
Jesus.
Jesus. All right.
Sweet fine Jesus. Yeah.
Jesus. All right. Fair use disclaimer. Copyright Act of 1976 gives allowance for this content to be used for purposes of criticism, comment, news. Did you hear that, Hazel? Comments. It's coming. News reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. We are floating it on the bottom. One of the mods will be kind enough to float it in chat for us, our disclaimer. And we're going to go ahead and listen to what Banfield has to say. Listen, she's not my boo thing. My boo thing is Nancy Grace. Y'all know that. But Banfield, I think she's got her shit together.
Yeah, I think she's got a good source, whoever tells her anyway.
Yeah, I do think she's got some good. I mean, she's been in this a long time. My first time ever seeing Banfield was back in the Casey Anthony. I was living in Florida when that happened, and she was on Court TV, and she was one of the people at the round table, that talked about it. So she still looks great. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I heard a YouTuber say that Ashley has beady eyes. Well, I mean, she might, but she knows her shit. And listen, I'm sure whoever the YouTuber has some kind of thing that nobody else likes either.
Hey, everyone.
So nobody cares. Ashley Banfield she's smart. And I think I've never even noticed her beady eyes. I think she's gorgeous. I'd work it. I'd be sitting there in a bikini if I looked like her. Go ahead, Max. I'll shut up.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
We're going? Okay. Give me a minute.
I'm Ashley Banfield, and this is Drop Dead Serious. Thank you so much for being here. I have big news to share with you. This is sort of the biggest thing I've learned in the last, I don't know how many days, but a detail of the crime scene at Nancy Guthrie's home. This is day 58 in the investigation into who took Nancy Guthrie from her home in Tucson, Arizona. And if you've been following my channel, thank you. I appreciate it. If you haven't, subscribe. It's right here, and it's free, and it's easy, and it's cheap, and it's great because I will give you updates, and you will not even have to look for them. They'll just blink. They'll be in your inbox. And thank you for members. I appreciate you guys joining as well. If you want to be a member, there's another thing down there too. So let me tell you, from the beginning, day 3, I had a source that told me back door wide open, right? And a lot of other stuff too. But let's just focus on that for now, because that's the information I'm getting more on today. And Savannah Guthrie gave an interview to Hoda Kotb on the Today Show and said her sister was on the phone with her, and Savannah's in New York, saying his mom's missing. And the back doors were propped open. That's how Savannah worded it. And it seemed like maybe it was a misstatement. Nope. She said it 2 different times in the interview. Back doors propped open. Well, this sounded very different than the source that I had. Back door wide open on day 3. I've had 2 subsequent law enforcement sources since that have confirmed back door wide open. So I started thinking, and Gray Hughes has been very helpful in navigating the back of the house to determine that there are 3 back doors. Originally, I thought there were only 2 because you can't see one of them. It's real hard to see it. It's like perpendicular to the length of the house because the back patio kind of juts out towards you if you're standing in the backyard, and then continues. And that door is perpendicular to the length of the house. And so I've learned that there are 2 doors on that back door to the left of the patio sofa.
We knew that.
The one you can't see. It enters the kitchen. That door goes into the kitchen, and there are 2 doors. One is the screen door, and one is the inside door. And those were the doors, plural, that were left open. So when Savannah says the back doors were propped open, it's one entrance, but 2 doors. I had guessed that that might be what had happened, that one of the doors had a screen door or a storm door, but I didn't know which one. And it is not the one to the right of the sofa on the outdoor back patio, because there's a lovely bluish door, to the right. No screen door that we could see there. Maybe it's on the inside, I don't know. But the entryway that was left open was that one that goes in the kitchen to the left of the back patio sofa when you're looking at the back. So that's one big earth-shattering piece of information that I was able to determine after talking to several sources in law enforcement. Another detail that really floored me was that the perpetrator used Nancy's flower pots to do this. He took her beautiful flower pots that I can only imagine she spent time nurturing and making beautiful for her back patio, and he used them for his evil fucking plot. He took her beautiful flower pots and he propped open that screen door. Remember, I also told you that my sources in law enforcement told me that the Guthrie kids had told them in law enforcement that their mom rarely locked her back doors. This might have been one of the ones that was unlocked. And he opened that screen door and he propped it open with a flower pot. I'm not able to tell you if that inner door also had a flower pot. It is possible that door just stays open, right? Because it's a heavier door. And in one of the photographs, you can see it behind Savannah as she's playing guitar in her kitchen, and Annie's off to her left at the kitchen window, the kitchen sink. That kitchen sink and window is sort of just overlooking, what would be the flower pots. It's just so frustrating to think that filthy, vile beast deflowered that kitchen, that entrance, that family home. But he did. My sources say that's where he got his entry. But that's not the only thing that he did. He also took Nancy's beautiful flower pots and he propped open the back gate. The area that you enter the backyard. If you're looking at her garage, the back gate would be to the right of the garage, in between the casita, the guest house, and Nancy's garage. That's how he got in to the back. And he propped open the back gate with, again, Nancy's flower pots, using them for his evil. What's so fascinating about this is why? Why'd you prop them open? What was the reason that you needed those things to stay open? The back gate and her back kitchen doors, screen door and heavy door. Why did you need them to stay open? Scumbag? What was your plan? What was your sick, twisted fucking plan? Did you know that there was an elderly lady inside all by herself and you knew where her bedroom was You just have to get through the kitchen, take a right, go through the family room, and then into the back master bedroom, all the way over on the right side of the house if you're looking from the backyard. Did you know? Had you been looking through her windows, making sure that you knew how to get through that place in the dark? Is that what you were doing? Did you think, maybe there's somebody in there, so I better have a fast exit? Because I'll tell you something. Lindsay, my producer, and I, we went back in time to look at other sick, twisted criminals who break into people's homes at night. And if you look back at the Golden State Killer, James D'Angelo, right? Joseph James D'Angelo, he had a habit of leaving doors and windows open. So he would have a rapid escape route if something went sideways while he was doing his dastardly deeds inside. He had pre-planned it too, because apparently he used to stalk his victims beforehand. Actually, we knew that from the trial. We knew that he would stalk his victims in advance. And there's talk that this guy did too, right? Because even though Sheriff Nano says, I don't know that we can really trust that the picture of the perpetrator without his backpack and without his gun, we can really trust that that's from a different night. Well, Fox Digital, Michael Ruiz, has 2 law enforcement sources who said it's from the 11th of January, 2 weeks before Nancy went missing. So this guy was stalking Nancy and stalking the house and finding where the back door was unlocked and finding where the spotlights needed to be knocked off, and smashed, right? Because we saw them hanging there. We saw those spotlights dangling by the other back door that goes into the garage or to a storage room. We're not sure what's inside that door, but it's not necessarily the house. Maybe he took those lights out 2 weeks early, knowing I'm coming this way. I'm going to prop that door open. I'm going to come in this way through the back gate. I'm going to prop that gate open. Those spotlights won't be on anymore because I busted them early. And I'm going to go over, and those doors are often left unlocked. According to the children, Nancy would leave her back doors unlocked, oftentimes. And then maybe he had done enough stalking to know how to get through that house to his victim. But then what? This is what's so confounding. So then why did you go up the front walk and right up to the front door and disable that camera if you weren't planning to use that door? And eventually you did use that door, because we know that Nancy's blood, according to my source, starts in the front foyer of her house inside, those blood droplets. And my law enforcement sources say they then continue over the threshold and out the front door. And then we've all seen Brian Enton's video and Michael Ruiz's video of the blood drop on the outside. Ethel. Going down the front walk.
For those that are new here, anytime you hear one of us say Ethel, it is a loving word that we honor our matriarch with. Ethel was her stepmother, not very liked. So that means shut the hell up or stop what we're doing and everybody pay attention. Is that sound bothering anybody? Maggie, you are, what do you call that?
Which sound? I never had my mic on.
Oh, for the love of God, you're so on
for the love of God.
Listen, what you did, Lizzo.
Right, hang on, wait. I am going to agree with Maggie because it bugged me the hell out of me when I watched this. It's on Ashley's recording. It's got to be.
Okay, so it's on Ashley's recording.
That crackle, it's got to be because
what was that, Leanie? What was that, Leanie?
Well, it's got to be on there because I remember.
What did you say? Everyone just shh. What did you say, Leanie?
Listen, what I was saying was it was crackling. Thank you for the word, Liz.
Yeah,
it's crackling, and so I thought it was you because you're the one that's playing it. Well, listen, this morning when I went and laid down and went to bed,
and thought it was sweating. So there you go. Fucking getting the blame for everything tonight. Because I made a noise once. Every noise throughout this live, I'm going to get the fucking blame. Well, I'll let you know when I'm going on silent, and you better carry on because there'll be Mazer in here. I'm sitting here on mute doing my crochet.
Oh, you're just crocheting. Okay, so you're not even saying hi to chat. Do you see what's happening,
No,
chat?
but no, I'm not. I'm
Oh.
leaving you. You're in the fucking chat. I'm watching you.
Oh, are you? That happens a lot
Hello
to
to
me. That
everyone
people are
in chat.
watching me.
Thanks for coming in. Please hit the likes. And if you would sup up, we'd be made up. Because this is what's going to go on every night. And you'll soon be fucking one of us killing each other.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Atonement. I don't need you coming in here sticking up for anybody. We don't need that, and we don't need. Listen, y'all. Before you're bitchy to me, can you please at least say hello?
I'm gone. I'm going on silent. Tell me if you can still hear it. If it's something from me, let me know.
It's not your mic, silly ass. It's when you're playing Banfield. It is
silly ass. He's just said, so what can we still hear then?
Oh my God. You know what? Let's just go on. But I wanted to say about the blood really quick before Maggie pushes on. Do you guys remember the beginning of all of this? I think it was Nancy Guthrie who said, it was one of these two. It was either Nancy or Banfield, but I'm pretty sure it was Nancy that said her sources told her that the bedroom was bloody or the bed was bloody. Do you guys remember that? It was like the second, third week or something.
Yeah. He was in the bedroom.
And then Nancy, I think it was Nancy because Ashley has always said that her sources said there was just blood in the foyer area right there. Because even we've said if there's blood outside, there's blood right there inside. It didn't just start right there. So, I know people have seen it and we've got it pulled up about what Brian Enton had to say because not everybody listens to Brian Enton and just because they don't think about it, I'm not saying anything negative about that. In fact, y'all sub up. I think he's a great reporter, but he, does say some interesting things that kind of follow along with what Ashley's saying about the no violence. And the thing I'm having a problem with, and this is the first time I've ever had a problem with Ashley, is that she's making a big deal over flower pots. Well, what the hell else were they supposed to?
I don't understand that.
I think it's because this is what I think, guys, right? Because she knew Savannah's gonna strangle her when she sees her because she put out there about her brother-in-law. So she's acting all over the top now, like poor Nancy did that, babe, do that on poor Nancy.
Oh, that makes sense.
I think that's why she's doing it. Going over the top about everything lately.
So wait a second, y'all. The blood that is on the outside of the house in front of the door is confirmed to be only Nancy's. The blood that's inside and wherever they haven't, that blood right there that we've been seeing all this time, that's confirmed to be Nancy's blood. Somehow, somewhere, there's blood in this house, and they said it's a mixture of different blood. So, I'm beginning to think, if it's a mix of, did they say a mix of blood or a mix of DNA? Because
mix of DNA in the bedroom. They
definitely didn't say blood. They said mixed.
It was something else mixed.
Yeah, mixed source of DNA maybe, or
say like fluids, and they said
not necessarily blood.
Yeah,
that's a horse of a different color, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and how can they say that even has something to do with this case?
Exactly. How can they say that?
Okay, so now we know. All right, so the blood, the only thing we've heard of the blood for sure is that's Nancy's, right?
Yeah.
Am I correct about that? Okay.
Yeah,
and then what? See, I took it to believe, I don't know why, but the stuff they found inside, and they said it's a mixture. I don't know why I automatically went to blood because that's all I'm thinking.
No, it could be anything.
They did say blood at first. I remember it. Even here, it says it now. Yeah, 100%. They said they found blood, and then later on, when these all been in, then we found out there wasn't a match for the pair, but they found mixed
Oh, I thought they'd
DNA of
always said what was inside was a mixed source of DNA, so it could have been literally
that was the later one, but
anything.
the first one I heard that came out, there was blood in a bedroom. You could tell there'd been a what did he say?
Hi, Lori.
There'd been some type of struggle in the bedroom.
Yeah,
They found blood in there.
Let's see. So, Margaret is saying outside yes was mixed DNA. Margaret, I'm going to need your source on that because the only
Yeah, as far as I
Yeah.
know, it was just hers on
It was
Just
outside.
Nancy's is outside on the door, yeah, on the step.
because I even questioned how many places did they swab every little piece, every little dot of blood to make sure it was only Nancy's? That's my question. Also, I believe that had they picked up that stupid mat outside, we would have a mixture of DNA out there. I think that there had to be spit or something. We know they didn't even fingerprint the damn door.
Here's
you
a
guys.
question for you. So, nothing to do with the blood, but you know the way they say there might have been a change of plan.
Brian
You said,
Inton. Thank you. Sorry, I just wanted to. Okay, go ahead, Maggie. Sorry.
remember at the end of the live we were talking, and you come out with it straight away, and you said, right, this is what I'm thinking, and you come out with it saying there'd been a change of plan. They'd gone out the back, right? What I was going to tell you. Oh yeah. So they're saying that the Pope knows it. Knows it in some way, has messed up, blah blah blah. If that's the case, why didn't he know she was bad on her legs? And that would have been.
Okay, I want to respond to that because I didn't say they took her out the back. I said that was their plan to take her out of the back. And then when they realized that she couldn't walk. Okay, so imagine like when you get up in the morning, man, let's just face it.
No, I understand what you're saying, but they're saying that the Pope knew it. Well, if he knew it, why did his plan have to change? Because he knew she couldn't walk anyway.
I think she could walk. I think she could walk from here to the bathroom or here to there. But I'm thinking when they got her out of bed, she was even more stiff. So she was struggling. You know how you have to sit there sometimes and just work out your body? Like I can't bend down to pick up a sock until my back says, all right, we're good to go. Let's go. You know? So that's what made me think that's when the plan changed.
Or maybe it's just a thought. Maybe she did have when her heart thing spiked. Maybe the fright of it all caused her to have some form of a heart attack.
Yeah,
and then it would have meant that they'd have to carry it out.
Carry her.
She's too heavy for one person. There's two of them there.
Today.
Yeah, so they have to change their plans and take it out the front at the last minute. The plans change.
Yeah. And do you think the when he was trying to take the camera, that he knew the camera was there, but because they knew they had to take it out the front, and that's why he went round to take the camera off? He did know it was there. I've always said he was looking down at the step. He knew where he was going. He went to the left, to the sort of thinking it wasn't going to catch him, to around the wall there, and then he come in front of it, obviously. But I think he knew about the camera, never removed that, because that'd be noticed straight away. If he'd been there earlier and moved that camera, that Nest camera, then Nancy would have seen it. People visiting the house would have seen it had gone. So it never got moved. So maybe they were going the back, and they were obviously going through the back, and that's why once he knew, this guy said today he thinks there's obviously been more than one, which we've said, that one's had they think tied up inside, and he's gone and removed the camera because he knew they were going out that way, and they think that the car was brought where I said with no headlights on. So I was made up.
And I think now when I go back and watch the perp on the porch, it looks like he's talking to someone inside. So I think that door's already open. Not the screen, but the inner door is already open.
Well, and we also do know that the the video that they put out to us has got a splice in it. And there's only one reason to splice a video, and that is to hide something out of it, right?
Yeah.
So that's even more reason for me to think that this changed mid plan. It changed when they realized how bad she was, or just like Lizzo said, she died of a heart attack, and the blood that we're seeing is skin slippage, or when you grab an older person's skin, it tore. Should I say? And so
because there were signs of struggle, weren't there, in the doorway? Apparently the little side table had been knocked over, so there were signs that there'd been, I don't think it was a struggle. I think maybe the person inside was trying to hold her up, prop her up or whatever, or do something, and maybe that's where the blood was dripping there and outside.
Or they'd been rushing her out and she'd lost her balance and fell, because she couldn't go as fast as they wanted her to.
You see, I think if their plan was to walk her out, she would have definitely had her slippers on. They would have made sure she'd something on her feet, because she's not going to be able to walk in her bare feet.
Would they have
I don't think they cared. I don't think they cared. But you know what, though? The more I think about that, I mean, that's my working theory still, is that she was dead when she came out of that house.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people have challenged me on that and said, well, she was still bleeding and you would have to be alive. Not unless she actually started bleeding and then died. And it was in a tarp, and they're carrying the tarp, and the tarp is just dripping the blood out of it. Who knows? But it's still worth talking about. I think it is, anyways. And there's just so much more to think about now, so much more. And I wonder if the perp is sitting back, going, "Oh, good job. You got that one figured out. But what about this?" Or does the perp hear somebody? And I'm not saying it's us, but it maybe is. I don't know. Just and it scare them. What do you guys think?
Say that again, Lee?
So I wonder about the perp watching all of these programs, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's ours, whether it's Banfield's, whether it's Brian, of course they're watching the ones that are out there in Tucson, right? And say Brian's got something figured out, or JLR has figured something out, or Ashley has figured something out. Is he sitting back going, "Oh, good on you. You got that part figured out. Oh, no, that's wrong." Or is he sitting back shaking in his boots going, "Holy shit."
Holy shit, probably.
That's what I'd be seeing. I'd be scared.
When they get them in and they find out the truth, 9 out of 10 of the times they say, "By the way, just for example, I'm just saying this for example, we didn't go through the front because we had to. We had to do it because of this, that, and the other." They tell them, and then they learn, then the cops, they tell them, "You wasn't right on that, by the way, or you were right on that." Do you know what I mean? About certain things they done. You said that's how we find out if we got something right or we got it wrong, because the perps usually tell them in the end.
So weird. Read what the FBI put in there. I'm going to look that up really quick.
And they reckon they done it with just the puppets. There was someone bigger behind them.
It wasn't a defibrillator. Help me out. What it was?
No, pacemaker. But would it show as a heart attack? Because they said it did show that there was a spike.
It was a spike.
At 2 o'clock.
A huge spike in a heart activity or whatever.
And I asked, didn't I, how often does a report from that go to the GPs?
All right, so listen to this. No, a standard heart pacemaker cannot detect or show if you're having a heart attack. Pacemakers treat slow heart rhythms, while heart attacks are caused by a blocked blood vessel, which a pacemaker does not prevent or monitor. The different uses are: a pacemaker is not designed to detect the muscle damage or blockage caused by a heart attack. Symptoms still occur if you have a pacemaker. You can still have a heart attack and should watch symptoms like chest pain, cold sweats, severe fatigue. The device limitations: a pacemaker cannot stop a heart attack, though it may be affected by one. ICD exception: the implantable cardio defibrillator, which we know she did not have, which is different from a standard pacemaker but often looks similar, can detect dangerous heart rhythms associated with cardiac arrest, not typical of the heart attack itself. And action needed: if you have a pacemaker and suspect a heart attack, you must call. So there you go. Would it have measured a spike? Yeah, if it's used to detecting, you know, low down here kind of stuff, and all of a sudden it goes whoop. Hi, Detour, good to see you. Which is sad. I mean, why not put all? Listen, for all you scientists who I know that are listening out there, listen, just put them together. It can't be that hard. Instead of having two separate devices that do two separate things, put both chips into one. That way, the defibrillator / pacemaker / all of it can just detect a heart attack. It can't be that difficult, can it?
Maybe it'll do all that in 10 years' time. Gail will be doing all
Well, I
kinds.
hope so. I hope so. All right, let's get back to this. Good to see everybody in chat. Thank you so much. Will you please hit the thumbs up for us? That's all we ever ask. Thank you. Keep going, Mags.
When am I keep going on? I'm going on Ashley again now. Okay.
Stopping at the driveway, presumably where he loaded her into a vehicle. So there's a lot of things I've been trying to think through, right? A lot of things I've been trying to figure out. Did he plan to make Nancy walk at gunpoint out that kitchen door and then out through the propped open screen door, kitchen door, and propped open gate, and then maybe down the long dark driveway to where he parked in the dark, avoiding the cameras of her house, right? She's got a camera at her garage. She's got a camera going out the front, obviously the doorbell cam. But then did he think, oh dear, I didn't plan for this. Mrs. Guthrie can't walk that far. Because Savannah's now told us that on a good day, her mom could get to the mailbox, but there weren't many days like that, she said. So maybe this guy didn't count on Mrs. Guthrie not being able to walk as far as he had planned to walk her. And so now he's got to change his plan. Now he's got to go out the front door with her, right? But we also know that it appears it was at 1:47 a.m. that he got to that front doorbell cam, because the sheriff's put out the timeline saying doorbell camera disconnects at 1:47 a.m. So maybe he was planning, before he even went to the back, to take out that camera first. He's got his backpack on, right? He's still got the gun. Everything still sort of hasn't been perpetrated yet. He hasn't used his kit yet on his back. And maybe his thought was, I better take out this camera first, because eventually I plan to drive and I don't want this camera seeing the car drive. I also want to know if this camera's live and connected to the cops, or if she hears something and calls the cops. So I'm going to take that camera out, and then I'm going to wait. Gray Hughes thinks that's a good theory. That's his theory, that he took out the camera and then he went to a waiting car far away, waited it out and thought, okay, it's time. At 2:12 a.m., here's another tip. The sheriff said that in the timeline that a person is detected on camera, but there's no video of it because Nancy didn't have the subscription. But how do you know it's person? If there's no video, how do you know it's person? Well, often you get these alerts saying person at your front door. So maybe there's that what they got from the back end servers when they did the scratching at Google. But one thing that the sheriff said, and I credit Gray Hughes for this, the sheriff said, well, maybe it was an animal. We don't know. Okay, well, then it's outside. It's outside because it's not an animal inside, right? We know that Nancy doesn't have an animal inside. By this point, he's giving this news conference. We know that. So that's a bit of a telltale, right? That he says, well, maybe it's an animal, but at 2:12, there's a person detected on camera. We're still completely in the dark about inside cameras. I think the sheriff mentioned something about additional cameras inside. But again, he said could have been an animal. So maybe that is 2:12 a.m. He's walking out on the casita cam, right? It's shooting the backyard, and yeah, the back floodlights have been knocked off, but they can see stuff in the dark. Or maybe the driveway cam. Maybe he's walked past the driveway cam and he's getting his vehicle at this point because he knows he's got to get it closer to the house, got to get it closer to that front door because he's now planning to take her out the front closer because she can't walk very far. I'm trying to think of all of these things. And I'm not as good at it as people who actually have worked in the business in the past, which is why I called Bob Krieger. I've seen some really good interviews with Bob. My colleague at News Nation, Brian Enton, has done some great interviews with Bob Krieger, and he's retired lieutenant, former SWAT commander for Pima County, but he's not with them anymore. So now he's kind of from the outside looking in and trying to analyze all the things that he's seeing from people like me and from Brian and from Michael Ruiz, Ray Hughes. And so I called Bob just to sort of game out what this means, this new information that I got from my sources, that the back doors were one entrance into the kitchen, propped open with Nancy's potted plants, and that the back gate is also propped open with Nancy's potted plants. And whether he thinks like me or whether he's got a whole other theory about what might have happened to Nancy given this new kind of dynamic, right? Is it an egress, or is this a plan to walk Nancy out? And why then is there blood at the front door going out to the driveway? And I don't think you're going to guess what Bob Krieger says, because it's not exactly what I think. I'm going to have that for you in just a moment. Quick note from my sponsor. Let's be honest. Being on camera as much as I am, having the right skincare product. Guthrie's house. The fact that we now know which of the doors were propped open, and it's just a single entrance. It's not multiple doors in the back were propped open. Is any of this sort of surprising to you?
Yes and no. Not really knowing why or who propped them open. But it would tell me that if it was a suspect who did it, they probably did it to have a quick avenue of egress to get out if something happened or went kind of against their plan. And just so you don't get lost in the house. They're going in, even houses are small. Sometimes people can get turned around. So there's reasons why it could have been, and a little surprising because it's gonna. I guess at 1 o'clock in the morning, it's not gonna show up too much in the neighborhood, but it is the backside of the house. But still, a propped open door is something that you look at and say, "Oh, that's kind of weird."
Weird, but do you see it a lot? In the investigations that you guys have done over the years, do you see that a lot?
I personally haven't. No, usually it's either forced entry, which is no way to cover that up, or the doors are closed and just left unlocked. To see something propped open, kind of like this whole investigation has been, it is definitely a little bit different than traditional things I've seen in burglaries and any kind of call where someone goes into someone else's house.
I'm also trying to think through the gate, So we know that he made entry through this back open door. If you're looking at the back of the house, it's to the left of that little patio sofa. You can't see it because the door is perpendicular to the length of the house. So you can't see it from most of the drone shots in the back, but it's there. And I missed it at first and then found it later. But he made his plan and he went in those doors and he propped them open with the flower pot. And I'm not sure if he propped open the inner kitchen door, but he propped open the outer screen door. But he propped open that gate as well. And I'm gaming that out, trying to think of, so is this again what you just mentioned, the quick egress, or is this something that guys will often do?
Quick egress. If most gates, honestly, most people actually lock their gates more than they lock their doors. So to find a gate that was open, and again, I think we're assuming that he did this because I also say this, it's not that uncommon for folks to prop their gates open. If you're doing something going in and out a lot, now maybe not an 84-year-old woman, a little less probability there, I would guess. But yeah, that's, again, the way just fencing and walls are in Tucson, it's a little different than just your normal cyclone fence and things like that. So sometimes you can't even find the gate. So it's to see both of them done is, I guess, a little more. It makes a little more sense than just see one of them done.
So I think I'm trying to think like this this monster, right? He's got a plan, probably knows who's there, probably knows who he's going in for by this point. The back floodlights have been smashed, probably on another date, probably on the date that he showed up without the gun and the backpack on that front video. And he makes his way into the backyard, knowing he's going to hit one of these back doors. And the Guthrie kids told the police that their mom used to leave several of her back doors unlocked.
Mm-hmm.
But it almost feels as though he's planning to bring her out that way. Because if you're propping him open, maybe it's a good quick egress, but it's also a way, I'll bring her out this way as well, so as not to go out the front of the house, because God, what if someone's driving by?
Yeah, possibly. If I were doing it, I would probably go out the front. The backyard with the yard itself, that's easy to get through. But once you get beyond that back wall, you're looking at, just desert area, a lot of rocks, a lot of brush, a lot of cactus, things that are going to make you fall down if you're not familiar with it. It's definitely a much more difficult route to go. And it's not easy to get to a road or a car that might be waiting or any of these things. So whether you're carrying her or whether she's walking with you, definitely much easier route out the front. So
well, I'm thinking he's got the car at her garage, so he just needs to clear that open gate with her and load her into a vehicle, or he's got his car down. And I think I'm going to retract that statement, because I don't think he would have brought the car up to the garage seen on the camera. I think he's left his vehicle down by the road, and maybe he's realizing when he's inside, my plan to bring her out the back kitchen door, out the back gate that I propped open, out past
Ethel. Hello, Lori. Welcome back. Hi, Tashi. Hi, everybody else. Mandy, thank you so much.
My God, just my name.
Thank you guys so much for coming in. I've shouted Maggie to the moon, so she's a little off, but it's okay, you guys. She's crocheting.
I'm not, guys. As she says, Ethel, so I go to click to the other tab, but she doesn't give me time. She goes, Ethel.
Anywho, now holler. I wanted to say this. So with two of them being there here, now I have another thought, you guys. I have a whole other thought. Was the plan, because I've always believed, well, not always, but since Maggie brought it up about the car, that it came in through the pool side, right? Because we don't know. I mean, it would be harder first over there because it's darker over there in between the houses, right? I don't know what kind of footage they got, if there's any cameras on that side besides maybe one in her little courtyard outside her bedroom. But I don't remember seeing a camera there either. But anyways, maybe only one guy was supposed to go in, and the guy that was already in the house went in through the back. He was just going to walk her over to the side, but it is a longer walk. We have put a flyover. We've used Google Maps and we've flown over her house. And it's definitely a longer walk, because you have to go through the pool area to get to the gate on that side. So it's a longer walk. Somebody said in here, right here, Sandy said it a while back. She said he found her in bed. He had that smelling stuff to make you sleep. From that point, he picked her up and threw her over his shoulder and out the door. She hit her mouth or her nose on his backpack. Now, I have always said that I thought that he threw her over his back, but did that now it kind of would make more sense if she was let's just say she did have a heart attack. Let's just say they had to have gotten agitated if in fact it is that the plan had to change, that now they had to go through the front door. They know there's a camera out there. They did not prepare for the front door exit. So now everything's got to be changed. So the guy who's driving the car had to now get the car into the front so they could walk around the front. Remember the video spliced? We don't know. Could be spliced, you guys, for minutes. It could be spliced for long enough for him to drive the car around that little circle and park it where we can't see it right there in the dark. And they're now aggravated. He picks her up, throws him throws her over his shoulder. And yeah, she could have hit his backpack. I mean, we know she was on blood thinner. She's going to bleed. And let's just face it, it wasn't enough blood that somebody had hurt her. You know what I mean? Like, a wound. I don't think there's enough blood there to show a wound, but there's definitely enough blood there to say that was a bloody nose, because I've seen my baby child. He used to have terrible bloody noses, and the only thing that would stop him was he would fill up the sink in the bathroom and stick his face in it. I don't know what the doctor said. It's because he was freezing it. So, and it looked like a crime scene when he was done. He tried his best to get up all the blood. He couldn't get it. I mean, the blood just dripping, drip, drip, drip the whole way he walked. It was amazing to me how much blood he would lose, and it used to scare me. So I think that blood there is enough to show a bloody nose, but not enough to show a wound. What says y'all? So like if she got a cut on her hand from grabbing her, you know what I mean? Don't you think she would have bled more out of a cut than to bleed out of her nose? Would we have seen more blood somewhere? And if she was over the backpack, well, she had to have been. So you figure when you throw somebody up over your shoulders, usually where you end up placed over the shoulder is right where your body meet your legs, because that's the natural bend in our bodies. So you're bent over their back. That would make sense as to why most of the drops were perfect round drops and not, you know what I'm saying? Like, if she was bleeding out of her hand or her arm or her leg, something got nicked on her leg, that it would be more of puddles of blood instead of just a drop, a drop, a drop, 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 drop. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear Nikki wants to know? Brian Inton said the inside of the house was spotless. We're going to get to that, y'all. Yes, we are going to get to that. Good to see you, Nikki. Thank you. Immaculate, no evidence of a crime. Well, then that brings us back to who said and why said that there was the front entry, at the front entry of the door where the table was, that it was all wonky and moved out of the way.
The table been knocked over, so there may not be evidence of a crime within, but certainly in that doorway, inside and out, there definitely was.
Struggle, yeah.
And Rose says that means whatever vehicle they used, her blood is inside the vehicle. Yes, but I don't believe that vehicle is ever going to be found. You guys,
it's out now.
Yeah. That thing is over in Mexico. It has already been stripped apart, and that engine's been put in something else. Let's just be real about it. I mean, Lori says they say they spent 41 minutes inside the home. Well, now we know what they were doing. SA, unfortunately, she thought they probably hit her. She was feisty. She had a heart attack during the SA.
I don't think she was.
I don't think she was, but I don't see him going in with the backpack if they just went into SA her, and I don't think they would leave the doors propped open.
He hasn't left that mask on for 41 minutes either.
I think if she was SA'd, then there definitely would have been more DNA.
Oh, true. Yeah, true. But it's not off the table. We're not saying that didn't happen. We're just saying for us, that part doesn't make sense in our working theory. Sandy says, I don't think there was a vehicle involved in the first place. Well, I'm curious, how would you think that they would have gotten her out of there then? Just carried her down the street, taking the chance?
Some sort of a cart. I mean, I have heard it said today, because there's a lot of speculation on the construction sites, these houses and there's one at the top of the hill. And there's been a lot of things gone off up there, like the guy that confronted one of YouTubers and said he couldn't park on outside Nancy's, and that's where he went, to that construction house at the top. So there's been a lot of focus on that, and I heard somebody say today, these construction people, they have carts and things, to move things around, and it's possible. It's possible that they could have put her in a cart and taken her up the hill, and that she could be buried up there somewhere. We don't know.
I want to play devil here, but my dog is freaking out. Does the garage door open? Not opening still?
For now, it's not.
That noise was Lainey, guys. That noise was
noise right
Lainey.
there. Yeah, my dog. Okay. I want to play devil's advocate. I like what people are saying here. Dot_ says, I don't think she was over the shoulder. The person we saw on the porch didn't look big enough to accomplish that, but that's saying, Dot, that there was only one person.
Yeah.
I
We
believe
don't know
there
how
was-
big the person inside was.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, there's been a smaller person than me thrown me over his shoulder, and I will just leave it at that. It had to do with a bar, but that's all I'm going to say.
You're a
Said-
general now, panic to get someone else. You know, maybe you don't even think about something, do you? When you're scared, and you know, you're trying to get out or something. You know, they've done the deed. They've got to get out now.
Mm.
So you get like this.
Lori said it.
adrenaline in you.
I'm sorry, Max. Lori says it makes her feel better, you know, that maybe there was no SA. It does all of us. Sandy
Yeah.
says, where are the garbage cans? Lizzo and Maggie have brought that up
Mhm.
before about the garbage cans. Like, did they put her in a garbage can? Listen, I don't know. But here's my point to all of that. The cart, the garbage can, a wheelchair. Here's my point to all that. You would have to eventually go down the street. You're taking the chance of somebody's camera seeing
The
you.
noise of it as well.
I mean, it's not going to be normal at 2:00 in the morning to see a garbage can being pulled by two guys down the street. It's not going to be normal at 2:00 in the morning for a wheelchair to be pushed down the street, or even being on one of those carts. We saw the cameras, or a camera from a neighbor's house that saw the cars passing by. If someone was dragging a can, riding on a cart, or pushing a wheelchair, it would have been on the cam. So my point is that I believe there was a car. I believe, and I could be wrong, but all we see on that cam when neighbors are trying to help out, we see those 12 cars go by. So
they're about those 12 cars, aren't they? Not exactly on her street. They're about 2 or 3 streets away.
yes, but is that the wait? I don't know. Wait, I think it was the street around the corner, but I don't know. I don't think it was on her street. But my point is that unless these guys know that neighborhood and know each house like nobody's business, and have made sure that each house's Wi-Fi and everything was out, you take the chance of being heard, and you take the chance of being seen. It just makes the crime scene so much bigger by wheeling somebody down the road instead of pulling the car up or closer and putting her in the car.
Yeah, it's the noise they make as well. I know by Thursday morning when people are bringing the bins out, 6:00 in the morning, they're dead noisy. The wheels.
But what if she was in some sort of a cart? Would it still make that noise? I'm just thinking because there was those 2 tracks in the driveway that looked like they were from some sort of, I don't know, bin or cart or whatever.
Yeah.
What?
To be honest, I
And-
never
and
seen
like,
one
would
of
there still
Nancy's
be-
bins, did you?
No,
Never saw one of Nancy's bins.
no.
No, in that little bit as well at the side by the garage where we seen where that was a load of muck, wasn't it? At first, I mean that might have been an earlier picture where they put the bins. There was
That's
none
where they
there.
put 'em. Yeah.
Well, you know, in the winter time, I keep my bin inside my garage.
Oh, well,
because-
maybe that's where they were then.
Yeah, and if it was left up to me, if I did not have a husband, my bin would stay in the freaking garage. But he's
Yeah,
always like,
me too.
I can
Yeah.
I can smell the bin. I'm like, then wash it. And he's like, it's plastic. You can't get the smell out of it. And I'm like, I have no problems. Like, leave it in the garage. I think it looks tacky to leave my garbage can in the front of my house. I just think it's tacky. So I'm all about aesthetic, you guys. I'm all about aesthetic. Laurel, I love that name as well. Says that, well, I done lost it. We love you and her. I'm praying for you and her, and even for the bad folks who are doing this, they get God and go to God and ask for forgiveness. Thank you so much for being here. You don't have to personally know someone to be loved. That's true. Detour says, I really don't believe she was carried over the shoulder theory or go to Home Depot and lift a 40 pounds of cement. I believe she was forced into a car. Listen, it's quite possible. That's just the theory that I'm working with. Margaret said, I wonder if she had a commode, being elderly, getting up and down in the night. Did they use that to wheel her out to the car? Could have been up by the house if the same car had been there before. You're talking about one of those bedside toilets, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I've never known those to have wheels on them. But I mean, anything's possible. They both could have grabbed side by side, had her sitting on the toilet. I don't know. I just don't think she walked out on her own, as far as like, I've got a gun on you, keep going, that kind of thing. I think she had to be carried out. And y'all don't have to agree with me at all. Rose
I
says,
think she was walked out.
oh, get down, little girl. Rose says there were neighborhood contractors. Yes.
Yeah.
Have one of those portable fold up with a dolly. Laurel says, if our mama refers to your mom, I'd be going. If our mama refers to your mom, I'd be going nuts and do anything to get her back. So keep being strong and don't give up hope. That is what the devil wants, I believe. There's a real devil. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Tashi thinks, I don't think the guy on camera has anything to do with the disappearance. I think that was made to look like someone has taken her. We are thinking too hard of ways she got out. I don't think she was there to begin with. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Let's go. Keep going with this on the screen, you guys.
Garage and down the driveway. It's not going to work. This woman, apparently, unbeknownst to this guy, can't walk that far.
All of these things are possible, and the mobility is an issue. Just the weight alone, most people don't understand the difficulties of carrying someone who weighs 150 pounds, 120 pounds. It's not easy. So all of these things are going to go into whatever plan that he may have had. Personally, I think there was probably other folks involved. So maybe the car drove up and picked them up right in the driveway. But we just, at this point, we just don't know.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I'm not so sure about a second perp. I don't know. I feel like there's no honor among thieves, and there's $1.2 million at stake right now. So who knows? But I wonder if of course, the idea to give yourself a quick exit and run and get to your car would be a reason you'd leave those propped open, but also would be a reason I can just walk this woman at gunpoint. I don't have to carry anybody. But lo and behold, no, you can't. You can't walk her at gunpoint, because Savannah let us know on a good day she could make it to the mailbox, but most days, no. So thinking like a thief, if you're back on the force, how are you now gaming how everything went down inside that house?
Probably not according to plan, because whatever that plan is, things I think clearly didn't go, excuse me, away they were planning those to. However they decided to take her out of the house was that way. There's so many different options. I personally still think it was the front door, and probably just hopefully walking, but again, if someone's walking, they're probably making noise. There's so many variables that go into it.
It's also, if he was doing everything via the back, why did he go to the front and dismantle that camera? Because that sort of throws all of these theories off. Gaming what happened inside, given everything's propped open, but he's still taken out the front doorbell cam. So given all that, what are your thoughts?
something happened probably that he couldn't walk her out. Like we've all said, Savannah said that she couldn't walk, except on a good day to the mailbox. You're woken up at 1 o'clock in the morning, whatever time it was. I think that was an unplanned for event. And the easiest way was quick out the front door to a car that was probably waiting or came up to pick them up.
Let me ask you something. And if he's made his way in the back, he's propped open the gate, he's propped open the kitchen door, maybe for his fast egress, but also maybe because that's his plan to get Nancy out. And then he realizes it can't. So now he's thinking, my car's too far away, but it could be close and I could get her to the end of the front walkway, which we know is where she walked out, given the blood drops in the front foyer, over the threshold, as my sources have told me, of the front door, out on the front entrance tiles, and then down the walkway where it stops. Do you think that he restrained Nancy in some way so that he could run back out and get that car and bring it closer?
I think she was probably restrained inside in some manner, but this is where I go back to, I don't think one person could have done this. That's too much going on to restrain, to try and stay here while I go get the car. Again, I know nothing about it. That's just a gut instinct more than anything else. If he did do that, it would have been difficult because, the driveway is not huge, but it's still going to take some time, and you're putting a lot of I guess respect risk into what you've done to leave her there to go try and get a car to bring it up.
I was wondering if maybe being tied or restrained in some way may have caused the injuries on an 84-year-old woman's skin that might have bled. That might have been part of the reason she was bleeding at that front door. But I still can't get past 2:12 a.m. and 1:47 a.m. because on the timeline, again, Sheriff Nanos, who knows if you can trust what he has put out, if it has to be changed again. But he says that the doorbell cam disconnects at 1:47 a.m. At 2:12 a.m., person is detected on the camera. There's no video available, but then he said in a news conference it could have been an animal, which means an outdoor camera, right? He's not going to be an animal inside. So knowing that, I'm trying to figure out if the doorbell cam disconnects, that's probably the front. That's probably when he's first arrived. He's still got the backpack on and he's disconnecting it. But why? Why, if his plan was to go in the back and prop open those doors?
That's a good question. If I had been doing that, the first thing I did was destroyed that camera, ripped it right off the wall. Even if I was planning on using the back door, because that's just another piece of evidence that is going to be brought back to me, like it essentially has. But even if you were doing that with the back door, my thought process is, all right, it's just a way to stay off of more video. You're going to want to remove all video cameras as quickly as possible if you're going through this scenario. At least I would want to.
Is it possible that he showed up, left his car out on the road, walked up that horrible moment where we saw him on cameras at 1:47, he manhandles it, and eventually I believe he took the vines and pried the camera off, but another source said the cameras were smashed off. There's glass shards that were witnessed down below by Michael Ruiz, the Fox Digital. And then he went back to his vehicle to bring that vehicle in because now it can't be seen on that front doorbell cam, and then planned to go in through the back. But still, it's weird that he wouldn't come out with her out that back way. He chose to go out the front.
And going back to the car issue, in that neighborhood, I don't know if you've been there or not, but in most neighborhoods in Tucson, the car is going to stick out like a sore thumb on the street, more so than in a driveway, even if it pulls in and turns its lights off at 1 o'clock in the morning. People will notice it way more parked on the street just because the dynamic of the neighborhood like that. So, again, a lot of different theories and where it parks and how it parks and, angles of view of the cameras. I can't imagine he did a lot of studying on what type of camera it was to see, what your field of view is, to perfectly park it outside of view. But you've got the pillars on the side that are blocking views and things like that. So it's not a rocket scientist to park it out of view if you need to.
I think you're right. I think you could pull in Nancy's driveway. If you're staring at the front of the house, her right-hand driveway, not the left-hand driveway, the right-hand driveway that would take you to the garage if you want to go there, but don't drive all the way to the garage and don't drive all the way to the front door. I think there's the sweet spot in there that he could have put a vehicle and stayed off of all cameras. And maybe that I think this guy had seen it. I think he had staked out that house. He had probably broken the floodlights in advance. I think the January 11th, again, Michael Ruiz from Fox Digital talked to 2 law enforcement sources who both said January 11th was that other image where he's got no backpack and no gun. Do you feel that that's plausible?
Yes, very much so. If indeed that, regardless of what the date is, if this suspect was there on a different day, was there for one reason, in my opinion, that's to see what's going on in the neighborhood, to see what's going on at the house, and to make plans and how to, best succeed and, kidnapping Nancy, which includes looking for cameras, looking for lights, all of those things that, those would be the first things that law enforcement would look at as well once they got there trying to gather the evidence.
Do you think the whole notion that the back doors, again, you got to be really clear, back doors is one entrance. It's a screen door and a kitchen door. It's one entrance, not all the doors. But do you think that stymied the investigators the way I feel? I mean, they always know more than I do, but do you think they're stymied by the back door?
Hi, everybody. Thank you guys so much for being here. Will you do me a favor and hit the like? I like what John says here, you guys. Why have a radio if he was alone?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's very good. Now I'm sitting here, and I'm listening to her and I'm like, well, I guess, it would be harder just for one person, but it's plausible that it's one person, but you're exactly on it, John. What was the point in having a radio? We know that's not a cell phone. It is not a cell phone. None of our cell phones look like that. None of us
like that no more now.
Hi, Michael Knight. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in.
Hi, everyone.
And just so you guys know, in case I'm just reminding you, that's Maggie's working theory right now, that he found a sweet spot on that side over there on the garage side where he parked the car.
You can't see behind them trees or bushes at all, even in the daylight. If a car's behind there, you cannot see it until it pulls out.
Right.
So
right.
I said, if he goes up that drive without headlights on, there's no way he's going to be seen. It's pitch black.
And then
he's got his little light in his mouth, hasn't he? So that's what he's using.
And then, of course, where you could see the Nest camera, you can't see very much on either left or right past that portico. So he could have, he very well could have come up the side there. Now we know he didn't do any off-roading. He wasn't in her yard or anything like that, because her yard and all of the areas that have shrub around it are all barricaded by, pretty big rocks.
Yeah.
So, and none of the
he
rocks
walked from the right as well to the Nest camera, didn't he?
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm still going to go with the pool side being parked there, just because if I'm thinking like a criminal, then I know that side's darker. And so that's the side I'm going to go to. And also, if you remember, we see the feds also looking out in that little courtyard. They were doing a lot of walking around that courtyard that's outside her bedroom door, her bedroom slider. So it makes you wonder, were they thinking that maybe the guy jumped the fence and jumped that little 3-foot wall and went in through the slider to her bedroom? But we know now, per Savannah Guthrie's own words, that the back doors were propped open. I wanted to ask you guys, do you guys remember in the early days when this first came out, like second or third day maybe, that when the 911 call was made, it was said over the 911 call that the back door was wide open?
Yeah. Yeah, because we thought it might have been for the ambulance or something, if you were going to get an ambulance.
So now I'm just wondering why now we're all just grabbing a hold of that, because and why we never gave a theory to that thought, because we heard it in the first days that the back door was wide open when they went to go check on their mother. It's just so weird to me. how, we wait for something to be said in the news that we already knew about, but we just we just let that one fly. She could have nicked herself getting out of an Uber days earlier. Margaret says there was a 911 call released the same night, a woman screaming out of a blue car. Is that the case?
Yeah.
If that's the case, it was Nancy. It means she was alive. Yeah. Listen, I don't know whatever came of that. The police never released anything of that. Oh, I do remember something that came of that. That call, they reported that 911 call came in before there was anybody ever seen on Nancy's porch.
Yeah.
So that's how that one was debunked. So that's why I took that one off the list. Toshi said could have been a flip phone, just saying, not touching it, Tosh. Travel says, I think they are exiting from the back doors. Then how would you explain the blood at the front of the door? And I'm not saying you're wrong. I think that was the plan, to always take her out the back. But once they realized what bad condition she really was in, the plans changed. The front door was just to get the camera off. Well, we know if you look at the video again, the guy on the front porch, there is no blood on the front porch in the video. We see the blood on the front porch the next day. Lego says, who uses walkies? Cops. Who's not giving us any info? Cop. All I got to say. Listen, you're not alone in that, Lego. There are many people that are side-eyeing all that shit. I mean, there is a guy right now that's in custody. When was it? Last week, Wednesday, he was arrested last week for supposedly he had some girl in custody and he was supposed to be taking her to court or something, and he offered her they smoked marijuana or something together, a vape. And he talked to her about going to a hotel and that he could help her with her case, and she reported him. So that's the guy that's in, and he's a sheriff deputy. He's in jail right now, and a lot of people say the eyes match up. So who knows? Traveling says, do you think she was drugged in order to get her out? Some people do. Some people do believe she was drugged. I think that takes too much time, and listen, I think there was enough fear tactics as far as a gun, a stranger being in your home, much less two strangers being in your home. I think I would have done just about anything those guys wanted me to do. You wouldn't have had to put a pill down my throat. I would have just said, hang on, I got to get my cigarettes and some coffee. Y'all want some coffee and we'll go. No, that's just a joke. But no, I don't think that there was any drugs involved, just because there was enough fear there. You wouldn't have had to. Hi, Charlie. Good to see you. Is there any progress? No, not really. We're just finding out little nicks and pieces here and there, and nothing big. Just adding more to the case, trying to add things to our scenario of what happened, and being the true sleuths that we are. Dot says, I love how Maggie says black. Black.
Which? Black.
Traveling says, I couldn't figure out why no one spoke about it, right? Even we didn't. I think we did in the very beginning, but we just didn't link it. I think I don't know. I don't know why we never really just tried to put that in the puzzle as to, I think I just automatically thought when they talked about the back door being open, they didn't say propped open. They said it was wide open. And I think I just thought, all right, well, that's where she went. And then when we saw the blood out on the porch, I was like, oh, wait a second. So the whole back door, the whole thought of the back door went straight out of my mind when I saw the blood. Kathy says it's not a 3-foot wall, it's a 4-foot wall, not easy to jump over. I agree with you. I mean, I was just using 3 foot as an example. Obviously it's a half wall, obviously. So I'm sorry, I wasn't using that as like factual information. I just
Do you think the paper would have got in through Nancy's bedroom sliding windows, and then he's maybe tying it up, whatever? And the other one, is in there. He's got the doors open. He's opening the doors ready. Do you think that's what way they've got in through them doors?
They could have done. They could
Do
have
what,
done.
Liz? Go ahead, Liz.
Yeah, they could have gone over that wall and gone in through the bedroom doors. They could have done.
Yeah, because
And
they're easy to get open, aren't they, apparently?
yeah, and if she left them open for a bit of draft or whatever, you don't know. But obviously they
I
can't
said
get her, they
that.
can't take
Yeah,
her out that way because they can't get her over that wall.
yeah,
So
yeah,
he's prepared the doors to take her out the back.
yeah.
But
Now, I
then,
heard it was a very cold night that night, so she wouldn't have had the doors open, would she? Plus, if it was us, as Leonie said, she'd have had probably aircon on.
mhm,
But I'm just thinking, with her being deaf, they've got in there. Imagine the fright of the life she's got. They've
mhm,
tied her up, whatever, or, you know, worse. And then one's doing that and one's in the house, opening the doors ready.
mm.
And then realises, shit, we've got to go through the front. So he goes around and takes the camera off.
Imagine how exasperating that has to have been, whether it was 1 or 50 people involved in this change in. I mean, I'm the type of person, like, I always say, lead, follow, or get out of the way. Just give me a plan. You know what I mean? And even if I know we're headed to a train wreck, if it's a good plan, I'll probably go with you. You know what I mean? But the minute plans switch up, my anxiety runs through the roof because I haven't prepared my mind. And especially at the spur of the moment kind of thing. Like, okay, plans change. We got to do this first. I'm like, then I get all kind of messed up within my body. So they had to have been so exasperated by the fact that shit, we didn't think about that. And shit, now we got to go through the front. There's a freaking camera out there. That's perfect. You know what I mean? I just, and would that have caused them to not be I'm not saying that these guys were good guys and they went in all gentle and sweet and nice to get Nancy out of bed, but could it have caused a little bit of violence?
Yeah, pissed off and just can't take any shit and just carry on walking. And she's maybe saying, I can't, I'm in pain, whatever. And he's not interested. He just wants it to move, or he's going to take it out.
Margaret says, Brian Inton said today there was no sliding doors. What do you mean there's sliding doors on the house?
There's no sliding doors.
No, there's no sliders on the back. Yeah.
Back, but the sliding doors, as you can see, I'll show you now.
We're talking. So we're talking about.
These sliding doors.
Mm-hmm. So they were out there a long time. They never opened up. So there's 2 sliding doors here. The one that you're seeing is closed is actually going into her living room. The one that you see where the cop is like in the door, that's his elbow right there, pushing the curtains out of the way. That is her bedroom. There is no exit gate out of there. It's just like a little courtyard, you guys. And it is, let's just say, 4 feet tall. For me, a 4 foot tall is not hard for some guy to jump over. I've watched guys graze 6 foot walls when they're running from the cops. Easy. All the guy's got to do is put his hands on top, jump, push down on his hands and jump over. I mean, we've seen this happen many times. So could they have gone through that door? Is it one of those things that I mean, it just makes you wonder, did they do people like this that have lived in an area and have never really had any kind of violence in the area or anything really off? Maybe she wouldn't be maybe it wouldn't be part of her nighttime routine to go through and make sure every window is locked and you've shut all the doors and stuff. Listen, there's been many times I woke up, and even as a little girl, and y'all know what I lived in as a little girl, and the back door, our slider was wide open. Everybody fell asleep in the house. And that's happened many, many times. So, there's a lot of scenarios here, and you don't have to agree with us on panel. We don't have to agree with you. I just like the way that we're all throwing our theories out there, and maybe one or two will be right. I don't know. But it's good to talk about.
Lainey thought there was patio doors, sliding doors at the back as well.
Always.
And we discovered that it was a window and two doors.
Yep.
So the only sliders are to the bedroom and to the living room that are in that little tiny courtyard outside Nancy's bedroom. That's the only
right.
slide doors.
Yeah, right behind where the seating area is in the back, where the couch is in the center. Because you can't see the bottom of it, just kind of looking into it, I thought that was a slider. It made sense to me. But Lizzo and Maggie brought up a picture that shows the blue door right as the picture you're looking at right now, off to the right side of the center of the furniture.
Couch, isn't it?
There's a blue door, and they zoomed into the blue door there, and behind that couch is a window. I thought it was a slider this whole time. Let's see. Lisa, welcome, says the sheriff involved in some way, ? He has been suspicious from the beginning. Lisa, listen, a lot of people are still side-eyeing. I'm not saying that's out of the realm at all. There's just been too many things that he has turned down. Help from, free help, that could solve this case. It's a hell of a lot of ego and a hatred for the people that are on the FBI, and what's in his past that he's so scared that people are going to find out about. I think it's all coming out. So I think looking at the sheriff, I don't think that's out of the realm of that it could be a possibility. He hasn't proved himself to be trustworthy.
To stay quiet.
Yeah, he hasn't proved himself to be trustworthy at all. At all.
Yeah. Could be getting paid off.
That's exactly right. I always thought there's like, okay, did she have some kind of wheelchair? Good question. Good question.
Could have been in the couch, couldn't it? Who knows?
Tashi says, our slider's always open. I don't fancy anyone's chances getting past our pit bull. Kathy says, different people in the last few days have shown that there are no sliding doors. They are regular doors. Okay, I think we already showed that, so I'll just leave that. Angela says, this entire thing stinks to high heaven from the beginning. Angela, we're right there with you. Google says, look into the 3 homicide detectives the sheriff screwed over a few years ago. I think that one detective or Sergeant Cross actually talked about that, Google user. Thank you for that. Travel says the sheriff was too emotionally involved. It was too weird. I agree. His very first press conference, you guys, look, even if he was best friends with her, right? You've got the sheriff. He's a number one chief honcho in charge, and he's standing up giving a press conference, and he gets all weepy. Listen, I understand men have feelings too, but when you are leading an investigation or you're leading troops into a war, the last thing the last thing I want to see is my leader to be all emotional and shit. You better do that in private in the back room and buckle up and pull your bootstraps up, because if you're not confident and you're scared or you're too emotional, I'm going to need you to move out of the way and let somebody else lead this, because emotionalism fucks up things really bad. I know, because I'm an emotional person, and I can't tell you how many things I fucked up in my life because I couldn't look at it with my brain because I was too emotional. That's why we are better in pairs, truly. The whole thing stinks of a cover up. Mike says, if the plans change to the front door, you're not going to walk all the way around the house to the camera. You would have went out the front door and broke the camera. Oh, you mean walked all the way around, taking the camera off, and then instead of doing that, you would have just come on out and then broke the camera as you were leaving? Sometimes hindsight is 20/20. Kathy says, Banfield said today that Nancy often left the kitchen door unlocked, and that is how the perp got in. It had a screen door and they were propped open with flower pots. Right. That's what we're watching right now, Kathy. That's what we're watching right now. Mr. T is in the house, y'all. Unless that's Rapper. Tasha says go
I
away.
think it's Rapper.
Okay.
I think.
Well, then if it's Rapper, just block Rapper. Angel says, I heard the sheriff had a problem with the FBI years ago and he resents them today. He does. Yes, absolutely. And then Elizabeth said, yeah, that's right. The back doors were propped open, but there are still sliders on the side, which led to the bedroom, living room. And Charlie says, our elderly folks usually have incontinence pads on their bed, thus may have had blood on it and easy to remove that evidence. Thank you so much. Thank y'all for being here. We appreciate it. All right, let's keep going, Mags. Let's keep going with this.
Plan and the front door blood?
No, it's, both of you look at it, they're the same thing. It's a way in and it's a way out. Whether they're propped open, whether there's forced entry, whether they locked them on their way as they were going out the front door, it's just another piece of evidence for them. They're going to look at the exact same way, collect what they need to collect, swab what they need to swab, collect their DNA, all of those things. It's not, in my opinion, any type of smoking gun or anything like that. It's just a plan that may or may not have been used by the suspect.
Do you think it's fair to assume that they would have focused real heavily on those door handles and those flower pots for the possibility of his DNA? Because again, he's got gloves on, but he's got a light, I think, in that mouth of his, and it had to go in and it had to come out, which means those gloves probably have some DNA on them, which means anything he touched those gloves. So do you think they may have gotten the mixed DNA sample off the flower pots or the door handles?
It could have come from anywhere, but those would be primary places to swab, to test. Anywhere a hand is likely to go, that's where you go, and then you just start looking around, and anything that looks like it's out of place or been moved, you're going to hit those areas next, and it's all just probability at that point. What is most likely to touch? Door handles and things that are out of place. So yeah, that would be a very likely source for good DNA if they do indeed have any.
And there really are only certain people who should have their dirty little fingers on an older woman's door handles, There are very specific people within her inner circle, and then there are people who absolutely should not have their hands on her back door handles. So, but that leads me to the question of the CSI efforts. Like, just as an look at you're an insider, but you're an outsider. You're a former Pima County deputy, but do you think the proper amount of CSI collection was done? Because originally it felt like 30 hours, man, it was done. That scene was released to the family, and then lo and behold, FBI shows up later. But do you think the right amount, enough was done to gather the things that I assume they gathered?
It's so hard to say. And as armchair quarterback the next days, maybe they should have kept it longer, but I've said since day one, I've worked scenes where we've processed it and then, we leave, and you can only do what you know at that moment in time. You're not going to cut all these walls down and things like that. So it's so hard to say on the timeline. Do I think they did a good job when they were there, knowing the detectives and the forensic folks who were there? Absolutely. They did their job. That doesn't mean that they could have overlooked something, because that happens. And when you do that, you go back and you try and right that ship. That's one of those things where it's easy to armchair quarterback and say you should have held this for months and months and months. Like, we should still have it as a scene, but there's a reasonableness factor that goes into all of these things. What does the family want? What is the people who have standing to the house? They have a right to their house back once the crime scene is processed, and once you kind of looked at everything and done it as much as you can do. You can't really just sit there and hold on to it. So it's a long way of saying it's hard to say.
Yeah. Savannah came back to the home, and I assume that.
Y'all, I'm not digging that at all. I'm not digging what he said at all. Since when have you guys ever heard of the sheriff's department, police department, any kind of law enforcement says, oh, the family wants their house back, so we got to hurry this up? Y'all, they don't give a damn about us wanting our house back. So I'm not buying this at all. It's funny how some people are experts, and I believe this man to be experts, but I don't know who he's ever handed a house to that's a crime scene that was handed back over in 30 hours. And and that they try to hurry a case up because the family wants a house back.
Mm-hmm.
And what family would ask for a house?
What family? Yeah, you'd want them to
would-
take all the time in the world.
Yeah, I would be like, you're really going to take, like, you're returning you haven't even had it for 2 days. What do you mean you're giving it back now?
Yeah.
I, as a family member, would question what was the
Me
hurry
too.
in giving the house back that quick. And y'all, I'm just going to say it. Please tell me what you think about this. It's one thing to arrest someone and accuse them for this crime. It's a whole nother thing to get a conviction. Because if I'm sitting on that jury, this is what I'm thinking, y'all. I'm thinking, don't even show me or tell me any evidence that you have on this crime after the first time you took the crime scene tape down, because from that moment that the moment that they released the crime scene, it became tainted immediately. We know that even before crime scene tape goes up, most places are already tainted just by the people that live there, or somebody who finds a body, or you know what I mean? But returning a house, and then here come all of the news reporters up there. And so that's even, now we can't even see whose footprints belong where. And there were no castings taken of footprints or tire marks or anything. So as a jury member, I'm saying I don't want to hear about any evidence after the first time you turned over this house, because the crime scene is tainted at that point. Anything could have been planted, anything. And that's just what I think about. I think this one's, unless they've got hardcore DNA that places a person there, this is going to be a hard thing to, I mean, there's no way they can go. And that may be why, you guys, maybe they know who the perp is. They've just got to wait for more DNA. Maybe
that's what they were saying today.
Maybe
just
they
trying to get more stuff.
Yeah,
against the case.
They will not get a conviction off of circumstantial. In this case, they screwed it up. They released the crime scene. So, I mean, what do you guys think about that? I mean, now they just made it so much harder for the DA. That's another thing I was thinking about the other day, Maggie. Remember we were all talking about, like, why is the DA just now showing up to the house?
Yeah.
After weeks, right before they finally turned it back over for the last time, the third time they turned it back over to the family. The final time is when the DA shows up. Listen, always want, that's one thing that we learned in the Brian Kohberger case, is that they always want the DA on scene before they even remove bodies or do anything, because the DA is the one, and we learned it through the Jodi Arias trial too, that the DA needs to be able to see everything as it was in order to try the case correctly and have an understanding and build a case. That DA didn't even show up for weeks. Cynthia says, DNA from where? Exactly. How about we start with the map that's at the front door still? They did say that they have DNA that's mixed. Is that old DNA? Is it new DNA? We don't know. But this is going to be tough. This is going to be tough. And I see many of you in chat. I see many of you in chat saying that the sheriff got paid off for this. Listen, you're not going to hear any backlash from me, because I think anything is possible in this case.
I think he's getting paid off from the bad guys to keep his mouth shut.
there's 1.2 million on the table. I think I'd rat Maggie out for that. I'd be like, y'all go to Liverpool.
What did he say?
Maggie's over there. Go get Maggie. She did it. I'd sing like a canary, y'all.
Like she did at the beginning of the live.
Like I did at the beginning.
Lizzo the snitch. Yeah.
Throw Maggie right under that bus for nothing. Y'all think 1.2 million on the table that I wouldn't be singing?
Know, guys.
Oh,
No, I know. I have a mate of my husband. I'm saying nothing to these two.
Angela White says, "My God, it seems like children are working on this case. Sad, sick, and sorry. The 3 S's." We're in total agreement with you. Total. Traveling says, "I mean, come on. They act like they didn't know how to investigate. No, I think the family is spinning a tale." Well, the longer it goes on, I'm not taking the family out of my scenario yet, and I'm not talking about the whole family. I'm talking about one member of this family, tomato hot sauce dude, the son-in-law, I believe, is still the mastermind behind this. I've seen nothing that's making me sway from that yet. But I'm not saying that you guys have to jump on that bandwagon. You don't have to. That's fine. That's just my work.
Guys.
Yeah, Max does not believe that the family has anything to do with it. Lizzo and I are.
He was the last to see her. That's all I'm saying. He was last to see her, so that to me makes him main suspect.
Interviews at all, saying how she was when he seen her going in, and how she wasn't herself. Was she sick or anything? What was she talking about? Like, does it seem anything goes on her mind or anything? They've never.
Did they have a fight?
That's what he said. Yeah.
Did they have a fight at dinner or on the way home talking about money? I mean, we don't know. Only they know.
Did you find out, or either of you find out, if the will had been changed as we've been hearing? Because that was one of the things that was brought up yesterday on something I was watching. I thought I need to find out if that was the case. Was it you, Lizzo, that said?
Yeah, I'd heard that early on, and they were wanting. I don't know if he has power of attorney or they were trying to get him power of attorney. Yeah,
or something. She changed something. I heard that, but I don't know where. So I was just wondering, but I haven't heard anything else, so maybe it's not true. The new interview with Savannah should be done with Cameron and Annie also on the one. Yeah, Lego. That's what I heard. That was said. Why weren't they all together? Because Savannah keeps saying we all make we, but you'd only see her. And why, if the family, the small, there's 3 of them there, why not did they all get together and give an interview?
Yeah. And was she ever dropped off? There are many people that are asking that question as well. Even I question.
I'm not sure she was.
Yeah, we don't even know that she ever
went know home. That. Yeah.
That's bullshit. She couldn't have gotten out of that car and in the house that quick. Well, maybe she didn't. I'm just playing devil's advocate. When I thought about that, it's okay. When I thought about it that way, how long it would take her to get into the house, I just thought, I have, so my garage door opener, you can hit the keypad, it'll open up, right?
Yeah.
And then right inside the garage door, you can hit the button again and it starts closing down. So that's possible. Or you can come next to where the door goes into the house and there's another button there, right? That's the way most of them are hooked up. So my question is, the minute she got inside the garage, is that when the button was pushed for it to come down and he didn't wait to see if she made it all the way into the house, which we know, listen, according to Savannah, she said they took her mother in the dead of night out of her bed. So if we're believing the family, then now I do believe that she made it home. I do believe that. I do believe that she was taken out of the house in the middle of the night. But that's just my working theory. Not everybody believes it. I mean, Lizzo's side-eyeing. She's still side-eyeing. how does anybody know something was put into her drink to put her to sleep? Maybe he didn't drop her off. Maybe he didn't.
I mean, I'm not even saying that they might have murdered her. What if an accident happened at that meal, and then they've come together and they're trying to hide, you cover it up, trying to cover it up, and because I firmly believe they all knew when they did the first ever press conference, something didn't seem right, and I felt like all three of them knew, what had happened, and that this was all being fake, made up, the ransom notes and all that, because Ashley Banfield had already accused Tommaso of being the mastermind or the suspect or whatever, and so they come up with this ransom note business to take the heat away from him. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying they murdered her. There could have been an accident or something, and then they've thought, well, we've got to cover this up somehow.
Yeah. Angela says the brother and sister-in-law live in a $600,000 house, yet they do not have jobs. Now, I had heard, I don't know this for sure. I didn't see anything on it that was relevant or that I could report as fact. But I have heard that he was a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Did you girls, were you able to verify that he was actually teaching during the time of this?
When I looked, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
He's a teacher.
But still, Angela, I'm with you on that. We know even over there in Arizona, teachers are pretty much they're not making that kind of money. All right. Traveling Girl says maybe they only went back to get the camera off and to stage the whole scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Margaret says 3 hours after Annie phoned Savannah, thought that was weird. If my sibling, I would call straight away.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lego says 1 minute Nancy can't walk. Next, Nancy goes to friend's house every week to watch church.
Mm-hmm.
I heard he was a teacher. Morning, Luke.
Why did she live on her own? If that was the case.
Well, in the third, I don't know if you ever got to take a look at the third one. Yeah, you were here when we did that. No. It didn't come out on the Today Show. Sorry. I did read some cliff notes about what the interview was like on Dateline, and she did say, I mean, basically what I got out of the Dateline thing without watching it, just getting cliff notes, was that the Dateline thing was basically just, I love my brother and sister, and they did the best by my mom and all this other stuff. And my mom lived alone. It was just, she said her mom lived alone because she wanted to stay independent.
I get that.
Which, yeah, we do get that.
She wasn't. If she's making out, if she could barely walk, some days she could barely walk, then why would a person who can sometimes not walk live alone? Was daily help going in or stuff like that? We don't know that, because let's be honest, like you say, when you get up of a morning, even a younger person, it'll take you a week. It must have took her forever to get up, get herself sorted, go to the bathroom, go make herself a drink and something to eat. Do you understand what I mean? If she was bad on it, she must have had people going in there for them to being happy for her to live alone.
Well,
I
she
know
did sack
if that's what she wants, they don't have a choice. It's up to Nancy.
She
But
did
if
have
you're
somebody that
struggling
helped
like
her,
that,
didn't she? She had that carer or whatever they were.
But didn't she? That's the one that she fired.
She fired her, yeah.
Yeah, but that was years ago, right? But I still
That was
think
in 23.
I
years
think
ago.
that was 3 years ago. But I still think we've seen pictures of looking
Somebody
inside the casita.
Yeah,
somebody was living
in
there during the time because of just how we could see like blankets and stuff on the floor and things like that. Now, could the police have gone in there and tore the house apart looking for something? Yes. But I just have always said somebody was living in that little guest house. And maybe it was just a cook.
nothing's been
Maybe it was just,
mentioned even like a little bit as we normally pick up as you go along. I'm not so sure.
but here's the
Maybe.
deal though. I could see them not mentioning who lived in the house, especially if
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
a family member, a niece, a nephew, something like that. I mean, we see what all of us have done to
I think
the
it's just
family.
someone who's paid to go in for a breakfast, for lunch, and dinner.
Charlie wants to know, were any of the credit card or debit cards missing or money drawn on it? No.
Nothing at all.
No.
But why also, what I want to know is why has nobody even questioned the Adult Protective Services card? It's just been dismissed, but that definitely appeared after.
Well, it's the same when someone goes missing like that, and they've heard that there was like a struggle in the house and the blood. He put it there because he was worried, had she been getting harassed?
Well, put it there for
No.
who? Because she's missing. She's not
Right.
going to get it. Doesn't
Maybe
that don't make
that's
no
it.
sense, does it?
No.
And you know
You
what?
would-
I live in the United States. I've never heard of that being done.
No, I am.
No.
It don't make sense. So I don't understand why
Yeah.
they've not approached the protective services people and said why
Yeah.
were you tipped off because apparently a neighbour, didn't they say a neighbour had phoned them?
Yeah, a neighbour. That
So-
fella, wasn't it, that man? The
I don't know. I don't know who it was, but what, he phoned Adult Protective Services?
He
don't
was
know.
the one. He was the one put the card there.
Who knows? It's a bunch of weirdos
I
out
don't
there.
know.
Possum says
So-
all he's sure of is he ain't ever going back to Arizona.
Yeah, I'm never. going.
They have plenty of money to have help. Yes, I agree. Lou says, why wasn't the female Iranian
Exactly.
lady helped, not replaced? I think she was. I think I think she
I
was.
don't think anyone was living in, but that's my opinion. I don't know.
Name says, good evening. Did they find her hearing aids? Good point. I think from what
think
I
they did.
understand of the hearing aids, they were left at the house.
Yeah, they were left in the bedroom. I
But
think they
somebody
said.
said that she might have had 2 pairs. I think it was Nancy Grace or something.
Oh no, I didn't hear that.
Would she have gone
They were
up and put her
wondering if
hearing
they found
aids
the
in?
other pair.
Niner says, I feel like in my spirit that those monsters were already inside. And why did she enter through the garage door, or was it open? Why didn't her daughter keep her late night? Well,
I think
like I said before,
it
like
has.
my family only uses our garage. We come in the garage, we leave through the garage at all times. And it's because that's the closest door. So like, we don't have to unlock with a key our front door or anything. The front door always stays locked. We come in and out of our garage. That's just,
Probably
I
easy
want to
for her.
say, yeah, and I want to say that most of the neighbors that I've ever lived around in Indiana, everybody always uses their garage. Nobody uses the front door unless somebody just comes and knocking. And then we don't answer that shit. We're just like, leave it at the door. No, she wasn't wearing them when she was taken. That's what we're talking about, the hearing aids. Maureen says it sounds like an inside job. I agree. Niner says she should have slept over at her daughter's home. It was
What we
late
said.
night,
Yeah.
bless her soul, and that's
Would've
a big
made
house
sense.
for herself. Would have made
Mhm.
sense, but at least listen. I don't know, and like I said, hindsight's 2020. But I know how I treated my mom, and if my mom wanted to go to home, and even if it was 6 o'clock in the evening or 10 o'clock at night, I wouldn't just drop my mom off and let her walk through the garage.
No.
I would walk in that house because
Yeah.
my mom had trouble walking, and
We
I
all
would
said-
walk in there, make sure mom was okay, make sure she, do you need anything from me? Not that I'm looking for a perpetrator in mom's house. That would be the furthest from my mind. But I would make sure mom got in her house and was okay.
Yeah, natural.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I'd have
kind
gone
of
in,
like,
made her a cup of tea, turned her bed down for her so it was ready, you know, checked that the doors are all locked.
have you
Put
guys
the water
ever,
bottle in.
dropped your kid, you know, you're running late for work, you dropped your kid off at the school bus stop, you didn't wait for the school bus because you're running late and the bus is running late, and then all the way to work you're kicking your own ass because
Yeah.
you did not watch those children get on that school bus,
Yeah.
and you worried. And listen, I've had to do that a couple times in my life where I've dropped my kids off school bus, I was running late,
Mhm.
and I about lost my mind until school started, that I could call them and say, can you check and make sure my kid's in that class, because I didn't get to watch them get on the school bus. So if you're going to be like that, you know, with your children or anybody else, why wouldn't you just walk mom in, say, take a seat, here's the remote, you want to watch Bob Barker? I mean, I don't understand that way of thinking, but I also understand that not everybody's like that either. They're just like, see ya, mom, get out. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Like, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord splits you. See you next week. You know, I understand people do have that type of relationship with their loved ones, and maybe this will be a wake-up call for the next one, right? Travel Girl says, but he didn't watch her go in or walk her in. Guess not. Didn't she need help getting in the house? Why did they just drop her off like they did? I think we answered that. Do they have Uber info? I'm sure they've already talked to the Uber driver. Yes.
Yeah.
They should have paid the fucking ransom. What the fuck, Petunia?
There
I'm
was no
screaming
proof
that.
of life there. I think that's what it
I don't-
was.
I don't
Don't
care.
know.
I still would have
I'd
paid
pay
that
it,
ransom
yeah.
in a heartbeat. Please hit the like button. Lori, thank you so much, Love Bug. Appreciate you. Same question. Why wouldn't you help an 84-year-old in the house and make sure she got in okay? So they have camera footage of the car leaving. Listen, I think they have much more footage than we know about. Absolutely, I do. All right, Mags, let's go ahead and finish this one up. I'll shut the hell up right now.
Okie doke.
Her siblings did as well at some point. But I just wondered, from a police perspective, it's not the job of the sheriffs, it's not the job of the police to clean up a crime scene. It's a horrible thing, but it is the job of, you know, calling there are services, there are literally services that do this. And I don't know, I never saw that kind of a van show up. It doesn't mean it didn't. But when Savannah came back through the home, do you think that blood still would have been in that front foyer that my source has told me was there inside the house? Or do you think that the police may have put a cover over it so that she could walk through the home without seeing that? Like, what is the protocol in that?
I would imagine, I don't know when the first day Savannah was back at the house was, but my guess would be that the local family would have already been through there relatively quick. I would have, if I were running this type of call, I would have wanted them there as quickly as possible to be inside that house to tell me, hey, does anything look out of place? What's going on that's not normal to this house? So whether that's one of the other siblings or son-in-law or whoever, but someone who has an intimate knowledge of the house. Going back to the other question, probably, unless the family cleaned it up once it was initially turned back to them. And from what I saw from the video and some of the still photos, there wasn't a lot of blood. At least what law enforcement considers a significant amount of blood, some drops here and there, you know, easily wiped up with a paper towel and some bleach or however you're going to do it. But yeah, unfortunately, and that's some of the hardest things as cops you have to do. It's like, all right, we've done our job. Good luck with the rest of this. And typically we'll pass on information for services and things like that, but that's part of that side of the job that nobody ever thinks about. You know, who's going to clean this mess up? And like you said, there are services out there. So was it probably still there? Unless the family cleaned it up, yes, it was probably still there.
And I'll bet you, Bob, honestly, the media was there instantly. Like on Monday, Sheriff Nels had a news conference because it was such a big story, you know, 24 hours after it had happened. It was a very big story. And I don't think anybody noticed or was able to identify that family members had come that next day to clean up. And probably the opposite. We saw no family members for weeks because they were in hiding. I mean, they had, you know, Savannah talked about it. They got a a couple of places that they moved between, and they said the media was closing in, so they stayed away.
Right.
So I just wonder if.
I think that's worth talking about. Go ahead, Liz. Can you go ahead and break that down as far as the cleanup and what we believe happened?
Oh yeah, it was definitely cleaned up because we saw them arrive. There was 2 of those white vans with they have the strange window that's sort of whited out or whatever at the back. But two of them vans arrived. You know, when they started doing all this, all the lawyers or whatever, the people in the suits came, didn't they? Walked around. I think it was the next day. They pulled in. There was quite a few cars came the next day, but the cleanup crew was part of that. It was a small cleanup crew, but it definitely was cleaned up and then handed back to the family. After that, the sheriff left, and it was all handed over again.
Yeah, and so we watched whenever those, you guys remember the 3 black SUVs pulled up really fast into the driveway. Prior to that, there was it looked like to me it was a forensics van that had pulled in a white car as well. And then we watched them leave, and then I stopped it because I noticed that the white van actually pulls into the garage behind the SUVs that were pulling out, and you didn't see it. But if you were paying attention, you could see where that van went. Also, what we know is after all the SUVs, which we believe did have some of the family in it, that's the one that parked in the garage. After everybody left, it was about an hour and a half to 2 hours later, we see just a regular minivan that had it was just a privately owned minivan. It didn't have any kind of special services written on it. It's just a regular minivan, old school model, and they pulled directly into the garage. And we believe at that point that was something like, I'm just throwing a name out there, you guys. I'm not saying this is who did it, but I'm throwing a name so you guys understand what I'm saying. Like a Mary Maids, some like a cleaning crew that was hired to go in there. And listen, if it is true that there was only blood in the walkway, as Banfield is saying, he's right. Take a paper towel, take some bleach, wipe that up real quick, and then go through, change the sheets, change the bedding, wash out the toilet, do a regular cleaning for when the family walks through, straighten up anything that may have been left whenever the investigators were in there. Easy peasy. So, it's not like this was a crime scene of Jodi Arias or Shad Theron, who we're studying. We're reviewing that case right now on our overnight. It wasn't a scene. It wasn't a crime such as that the whole freaking bathroom was full of blood, and you basically have to gut it to get it out. Yeah. We're not talking about that. We're just talking about a bloody nose type of blood drop that Banfield is actually saying was there. So we've seen the cleaning crew. Ashley, you should hang out with us more often. We know you're listening to us, Ash. It's okay. It's all right.
I think she's getting ideas from you, Lee.
Yeah, I think so too. Her and old Nancy, we've already done reported on it by the time they put it out there, because we got our own sources, y'all. We got our own sources.
Yeah.
All right. So anyways, no, there was a cleaning crew there, and I wanted to point that out. Donna wants to know if the mother passed away. I believe she did. Okay, are you still talking about the same thing? Did they find her? What's going on? Well, we've been on now for 2.5 hours, so you have to forgive us. We've moved on. No, they did not find her body. No, we don't know for sure she's dead. Do I believe she's dead? Absolutely. But no, nothing like, we're still talking about the same thing, kind of. Hi, Jeremy. Good to see you. Hi, Mac Gibb. So what would be the point in cleaning up inside the home, but not outside? Because they didn't clean the porch the day after. They even blocked the porch off. Well, they blocked the porch off because we believe that's when they were going in to take measurements, right? To kind of give us an idea of how tall the dude was and things like that. Listen, I don't know if you've ever hired a cleaning crew like Mary Maids or something like that, that'll just come in and give your house a good, clean feeling on Mother's Day or whatever. They don't clean outside the house. Different cleaning crews do different things. So maybe that's why. I don't know. Has anybody been up to the door besides the few little looky-loos in the neighborhood that we've seen walk up there and take pictures of the door? Did anybody come when people in the news and the media and the YouTubers all went away and spray off the porch? Because that's all you would have to do to get rid of the blood on the porch. So that could have already been done as well, easy peasy. So I don't know. All right. On other channels, they keep on about the door sliders, French doors. Why? Well, the door sliders aren't French doors. They are sliders. They're like sliding glass doors. And hi, Captain. Good to see you, Love Bug. And I think they keep going on about it because one of the sliders goes directly into Nancy's bedroom. What says you girls?
Yeah.
I mean, they could have very well went in the slider.
I mean, just because the back doors was propped open doesn't mean that's where they went in.
Right.
I think a lot of people are under the impression that she had slider doors at the back,
At the
onto
back,
the
yeah.
patio. I think that's what a lot of people are surmising. And there isn't sliding doors. The only sliding doors lead into her bedroom. Yeah.
Hi, Isabel. Good to see you. Thank you for being in here. Appreciate the dot.
Oh, you appreciate the one.
We love the dot, like we're following. 221, God bless my daughter.
Oh my God, she's got the plug.
Well, it's kind of like Facebook. Instead of making a comment,
you put a dot if you want to
you
follow.
put a dot so you can follow it. Thanks, Isabel. We appreciate you, Love Bug. We appreciate the dot. I think that's the first time in 2 years I've ever gotten a dot. All right, let's
I'm looking with the dot. Oh God, yeah. Is that what it means? See, I didn't know that. I wondered what that means.
Yeah, if you're on Facebook and you want to like follow, like, you know, a post or something, you don't want to comment, but you just want it to update you. You put a dot, and it knows you're following them, so you get updated.
She's just thinking you mean it. Just thinking you mean it.
Not you, dot. The other dot up above you.
Look at the dot, the little full stop further up by Isabel Farrell. Have a look. That's what they're talking about, Josh, not you. They've lost the plot, Josh.
It's just a plain dot. Terry says, I keep hearing about open doors. The area is high risk of snakes. Doesn't make any sense. Well,
imagine a snake getting in there or a coyote. Oh my God.
You know what though? Some people aren't, even in those areas. I don't live in a snake infested area. I live in Indiana. I'm not scared of snakes. I'm really not. I'm not scared that snakes are going to come in here. My husband's from Oklahoma. You know, it's just something you watch for and nobody cares. I'm more scared of a spider.
I noticed in the back garden when they were droning over Nancy's back garden, next to one of her plant pots, there was like a huge bat, like a baseball bat thing, a big pink one. And I reckon she probably had that there just in case there were any of them Halloween things that came in, you know.
Oh, God.
Yes, rattlesnakes, not so sure why the door is left open at night, as her daughter said. I think it was left open by the perps. It's not like they're going to go back through and make sure everything's all locked up when they leave. The Roughneck says, howdy, folks. Hey, Leanie, how you doing today?
Howdy.
Doing good. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Dot says, I'm putting away my groceries. And here's Dot. I was like, what the fuck did I do now? Maggie's been saying that all day, Dot. So you're in her corner. Detour says, good day, ladies. Enjoy your day. See you on the flip side. Be well and be safe. Same to you, Detour. Big hugs to you. Hope to see you on the overnight crew.
Detour.
This is so good. Margaret says the biggest snake describes the sheriff. So good. We dig it. We dig it. All right, back into it. I'll shut the hell up now.
Okay.
On that day, weeks later, that would have been such a difficult thing. Would the police have been involved in saying, mitigating how awful that was, or would that have really been up to them to sort of deal with what the crime scene presented?
you would tell them what they were walking into. You wouldn't want them to walk into something blind. And again, if there's the amount of blood at the front area, whether it's inside or outside, wasn't a lot, and that's why I still would guess that the family probably would have done some cleanup, at least on the inside, especially if they were there within those first hours before any news conference even happened. Now, again, if it was a crime scene, the investigators, I would hope, would not have let them clean anything up until it was turned back over to them. But in that first 30 hours, right after that, but I personally, if I were like passing on the information, I would absolutely tell them, and that's usually when the conversation would happen. Well, what can we do about that? And all right, here are some resources for you to try and, so you don't, no family should have to clean up a scene, period. It's unfortunate that, law enforcement, fire, it's just not part of what we do. So there are these folks who do it. And, that's why we can kind of help and guide in that area.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, by the time the white tent went up at the outside of the front door, I don't know if the blood was cleaned off, and those tiles are sort of porous. There may have still been evidence of it. It's maybe really hard to clean. And I don't know, again, we didn't see any cleaning services show up, and there was live streamers that were trained on 24/7. So it would be pretty surprising if that was missed. Not to say it might not be, but it would be a bit surprising. I wanted to ask you about the searching, because look, a lot of people, in Savannah included, are almost bracing for the news that maybe Mrs. Guthrie did not survive this, right? And yet that would tell you that there may be a body somewhere. So do you have any idea why the sheriff would rebuff the efforts of the Cajun Navy, well-respected group that's been around since Katrina at the least, offering free services to come and help look? There were others that did as well. Any idea why, and whether that was a bad idea or were there redeeming reasons why?
Again, those are one of those questions. Pima County is so vast. Do they need to probably walk through her neighborhood yard to yard? No. And quite honestly, unless they're going to front doors and knocking on people's yards, hey, can I go in your backyard and look? There's no real, like I said, redeeming quality to that. There were air searches done, granted a little bit later than they should have been done. We won't talk about that. But those resources were up. I know when those resources were starting to be discussed, it was a week or so later. At that point, I don't see any reason why not to let them do it. Other than making sure that they know where they can and can't go legally, because again, this is the Old West, and there are people who don't want anyone walking through their property, and they might encounter someone with a gun or dogs or things like that. Now, that being said, if these folks are doing it, they're going to do it the right way. They're not going to kick in doors and fences and things like that. They're probably going to knock on doors. But I do know that the investigators did a thorough search of the area those first couple days.
But it's a vast desert, right? That's not yards. It's not private property. No. I would think that they should welcome anybody that might want to bring their resources. Some of these guys are from law enforcement. Some of them have ATVs. Many of them bring their boats when they're, coming to terrain that requires boats. Right. That's why they're called the Cajun Navy. It just feels to me like that's still something that could be done. That's still,
especially out in more of the outskirts areas. Absolutely. Let them go do it. There's no harm from them looking, as far as I would be concerned. So the answer to the original question, any redeeming qualities, have them not do it. I don't think so. I think, 1,000 sets of eyes looking for her are better than 50 sets of eyes looking for her.
Hey, spring cleaning season is here, and most people forget the most
why there were, less experienced investigators in the homicide unit, because he chose to move investigators out who were experienced. He and his crew chose to remove a pilot from the air unit who was supposed to work that day because of some issues that arose, some discipline issues. In a vacuum, hey, you've got to be a good employee, right? But if you're only not a good employee because you talk kind of grumpy to people, or you're kind of short with them, that's just how a lot of cops are, and a lot of people are in general. Mm-hmm. Being a pilot is completely different than being just not just from being a patrol deputy. That is a skill that we have literally spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to get you to a point to where that asset, and I will tell you this, that airplane that we have, the airplanes that we have are the two most important resources within our agency. Life-saving resources for their technology, for their ability to find things on the ground. They're more important than a SWAT team. They're more important than a homicide investigator in the moment. And to have that shelf for even a couple hours because I'm mad at you, that's an unfortunate decision. And that's
how many hours are we talking? Hours or days?
I heard it was just a few. I heard like 3 or 4 hours before at least the helicopter was up. But the helicopter in searching this type of thing, yes, it's a better platform than nothing, but it's still not nearly as good as that. I don't know the exact time frame when the airplane actually got off the ground, but I do know it was several hours.
Wow. Nano said, let's see, Monday, which was 24 to 30 hours. I think when he gave his news conference, it was around 30 hours after Mrs. Guthrie disappeared. He said, we threw everything at this. We threw our air resources, dogs, we threw our people, and now we're kind of calling off the search. And I thought, hang on, isn't this when you really start?
Well, when you think about that, the search is going to go so far out. There's a science to searching for missing people, searching for lost hikers, all of that stuff. Pima County is the size of Rhode Island and Connecticut combined. So, you're not going to search every inch of Pima County. It's just the nature of the beast. Nobody has those amount of resources. You're going to search a reasonable area based on the information that you have. And I would hope that he was reaching out to his search and rescue supervisors because they are the ones who are experts at searching. They know how far to go, reasonableness. Hopefully they're working traffic cameras, which there aren't a lot of, but all the resources that they're using, the nest cams from neighbors and things like that. Because again, you have to be looking for something, and at some point you do have to say, all right, we've done everything. Now, could we search every inch in a grid search? Yes, it's going to take hundreds of years probably to do all of Pima County. So again, that's one of those armchair quarterbacking decisions. We've done this before. The sheriff's department has done this before. This isn't the first time a person has gone missing, and they are the experts between search and rescue and the investigators. They know what to do, and so they're talking and making these decisions as a group, I would hope.
Well, Pima County's big, and yet, gosh, I don't know how many weeks ago it was. I had a law enforcement source who told me that the search for Nancy extended into a neighboring county with the signal sniffer. Did you hear much about the success or the frustrations with that?
I heard about it. I don't know the all on details of the sniffer. I've talked to some of the folks who work with it, so I'm familiar with it. I know that there was a search done at the landfill by a device or an airplane out of Banfield, which is out in the western suburbs of Pima County. And because I saw its flight pattern and all that, and clearly it was searching for that. It wouldn't just go over a landfill for any other reason.
And yet the sheriff said it didn't have anything to do with law enforcement.
I find that hard to believe. The timing and that you're not doing a LiDAR search of a landfill for any other reason. And I'm not saying they were LiDAR. If I were a betting man, they were sniffing because that was when it was very hot on the possibility that they could still get a signal from a pacemaker.
Well, that pacemaker will continue to emit signals for years.
Yes.
So do you think that they'll continue to use that LiDAR effort and or is that kind of like one and done?
They will if they get something to go on, again, because not knowing, my guess is if it's off a Bluetooth signal, that's a much shorter area. You have to be within a certain distance of the ground, I could imagine.
Ooh, like 800 feet. That's what many of the tech experts, the guy behind it.
That's longer than I would
800
have.
1,000.
Yeah, that's much more than I would have thought. So it's still viable, but again, how do you do it? Resource management. One thing I brought up with some other folks. There's still a budget associated with this, and it's horrible to say, but the sheriff's department, the FBI, they are a business. Not a business, but you know what I mean. They have budget.
They've got limited resources.
Exactly. So would I love to be able to fly a drone all over every inch of Pima County for the next however many hours, days, months, weeks it would take to see if we could find it? Yes. Is that practical? It's really not. So again, it's a balancing act.
It's like I keep thinking about when I covered the missing MH370 in the Indian Ocean, and I remember it's smaller than a needle in a haystack, you know, and it was just so frustrating. To that end, do you have any idea about the task force? Like, when does that start to draw down as well? Because it 400 officers drew down to a task force. When does that start to draw down?
I think that'll stay in play for quite a while, because if you look at what they're doing now, they're following up on leads. If you know, the number that was thrown out there, you know, was 40,000 leads in the first couple of weeks. It would take months and months to go through that amount of leads. So what they're doing now is probably just that, following up on those, going back out, knocking on doors of folks who might not have been in town, you know, who might not even know this is going on because they don't follow the media for whatever reasons. So I do think that task force will stay in play for a while. You know, you're going to put a task force together, and it's only been a week or two now that the task force, maybe 3, has been in place. That's going to go on probably until this case becomes cold, and it doesn't become cold until everything has been exhausted. And there's a lot to exhaust in this case.
So, what's your definition of? My definition of a while is it's 3 hours till dinner. What's your definition of a while?
For a case like this, years, maybe, quite honestly. It's until you don't have anything left. That's, you know, homicide cases that go cold, they go cold after years. It's not a couple days, it's not a couple weeks, it's not a couple months. And I think with society being, hey, we need something right now because of our 24-hour news cycles and immediate access to everything, folks just don't understand that. This, concerning is not a word. This is not surprising to me. This is just how cases work. We're only 50, people say we're 50 days into it, or however many it is, 60 days. And I'm like, we're only 60 days into
58,
this. Yeah. We're only 58 days into this. That's just the tip. That's like the tip of the iceberg. This is going to go on unless there's a huge break. Like you said, honor amongst thieves. I do think there's a good possibility that someone is going to say something eventually because money talks, or they're going to find something, or a video or something is going to pop up, and that might not be for a week or a month or a year or 2 years or 3 years.
Someone took someone's car and borrowed it, and it was annoying, and didn't ask, and then brought it back, or stole a car and returned it in a weird way, and you didn't even know, but you didn't think you parked that way on February 1st, or an ex-girlfriend. She may have not been an ex-girlfriend that night, but she may be an ex-girlfriend in 2, 6, 8 months. That's usually what you guys are, right? You go lick your chops thinking, just wait, someone's going to get pissed off at this guy.
And that's usually, here's the secret sauce. Most bad guys tell on bad guys. That's how 80% of good crimes are solved. It's someone telling on their friend or their cellmate or something because they got drunk or they got high and they said something that they probably shouldn't have, and it's the little crack in the dam that we need, and it happens all the time.
But sometimes it takes a while, right? Like, and also the bad guys who do this, how often, they're not professional secret keepers. How often do they eventually let on, like their conscience or whatever it is that's on their shoulders finally lets the floodgates open?
That's hard to put a number on, but it's high. You know, and I wouldn't call it conscience or guilt. It's bragging. Hey, I got away with this. And, you know, you'd be surprised how many times they tell someone they've known for 2 hours because they just became cellmates at the jail or the prison. And that's where it happens. Like, dude, you've known him for a day and you're giving up your deepest secrets. And he's going to tell someone so he can get more day room or, you know, a better location, whatever it might be.
What about confidential sources out there? You know, I know how it works out there. I know they have gang units, how they work. Do you suspect that's a really big part right now of this investigation, is getting out to all the confidential sources that the police use, offering all sorts of incentives to say, look, you guys talk. Somebody's going to make a whole bunch of money out there if you guys find this guy. Is that part of this? Is it a big part of it?
I don't think it's a big part of it. That's more TV stuff. That's TV and movie, quite honestly.
Hang on a minute. I am a fill-in host for Dan Abrams on Patrol Live, and sitting next to me is Styx. Sean Sticks Larkin, and was in the Tulsa gang unit for a long time. So he was constantly working sources like that, right? So it's TV, yes, but it's also real.
It is. It's more real back in the day. It's weird to say that, but years ago, it's far more practical than it is today. Not to say it doesn't happen, because I worked at task force. One of my last assignments was a counter narcotics alliance, and I do know that they had their sources. So people still do work them, but it's not as active or as glamorous as it might be. That being said, if I knew a bad guy or I talked to bad guys, because there are bad guys who like to give up information for perks, yes, I would be working every single person that I knew.
And let me ask you, Bob, there's a hell of a perk that's not normal to most cases, and that is the $1 million reward that Savannah Guthrie has put up. Does that, I mean, is that almost like manna from heaven for investigators who do work with confidential sources to go out there with that, to say, guess what?
Yeah.
It's not just the police reward we're going to give you. It's that big $1 million lottery ticket you're going to get.
It's huge. When the family put that out, I remember saying that day, I'm like, I think this will be a factor into whenever someone decides to give it up. That's going to be a factor. And again, it might not be right away, because that pissed off girlfriend is going to happen eventually.
But cops will use it, right? Like cops will be able to actually go underground and use that and dangle that out in front of people. All the cops.
I've got this carrot for you. It's not the typical. What I think it started at $500. 88 Crime was offering $500 for information. That's typically where it starts. You're looking at, $1 million+ someone's that's going to ring true to somebody eventually.
Yeah, especially if this guy eventually decides to brag. Although this guy probably knows there's $1 million ticket on his head as well. So maybe he won't have that bravado for a lot longer. What's your theory of what happened to Nancy in that home and then afterward?
I think whoever went there with a reason, whatever that reason was. It's hard to say, but I don't think this was any type of random act. I think there were multiple people involved. I think they went there with the goal to take her and get money out of it. I do just from the way they were dressed and the gloves and the mask and all of that. That's not
dressed like Bobbsey twins.
I don't think they were dressed like Tim's. I think there was a guy sitting in a car, or more than one guy sitting in a car, just like you and I look right now. No.
So the guy on camera is the same guy, whether he's got the backpack and gun or whether he's not got the backpack and the gun. It's the same guy.
Probably, yeah. It at least appears that way. I won't say it is, but it appears that the stature and everything looks similar. And I think that was their plan. And I do think something happened during the course of it, whether it was inside the house, whether it was once they got outside the house or left. And I do think whatever happened was probably tragic. And I think that changed their plan. And so far, once that changed, I think that's why it's been so quiet.
But Bob, why TMZ? Let's just say that the plan didn't go well. Why would they then make it as big as they could? TMZ and television stations, why wouldn't they just seek out that communication, get it to the family and say, this is what I have, this is what I want?
Because that's the nature of someone who's in their early 20s or younger generations. They know TMZ. They probably know how to get in contact with TMZ better than they know how to make a phone call. So these are the little things. And I will tell you, I've heard stories about different ransom notes going to different places. I don't think necessarily I know there was also someone in Tucson who was arrested for making a false accusation of some sort. I think
California. California.
Yeah.
And brought to Arizona to face federal charges for it.
Right. So, and I think that was, especially as it went on with TMZ, my gut is those probably were related. Now they could have been, again, it's just a gut, but that was put out there because they also was feeding TMZ. They wanted to, hey, look, we caused that. It's like these gamers who have these swatting incidents. Why do they do that? Why does anyone do anything like that? They get to sit at home in their lazy boy and chuckle a little bit and say, look, I got them to go off track for an hour or 2 hours or 3 or 4 days.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think that any of the ransom overtures were real?
It's hard to say. I've heard things about the early ones that would make me think that yes, they probably were, but then again, there's also the thinking that it could have been just it's like a psychic. If you say the right things in the right order, you don't need to be a genius to be a psychic. You just know how to play that game. So it's so difficult to say. You know, do I think that the start in ransom was going to be part of it? Yes. Do I think the ransom notes were connected? That's harder to say.
And that maybe it's just a bizarre coincidence that the person or persons who took Nancy planned to try to make money off her, realized that something went sideways and they couldn't. And then bad actors glommed on and took advantage of a situation and, you know, lo and behold, sent ransom requests.
Yep. I think that's actually more probable than not, that exact scenario. Because that's just, unfortunately, it only takes one person, you know, not saying everybody's horrible person. It just takes one person to sit at home and, you know, spoof their IP address and send these. It looks like it's come from Ukraine or wherever.
Do you have confidence that this will be solved?
I do. And again, this is the cop-out answer. It's just a matter of when. It might be years, but it will be solved. You know, some piece of evidence, some piece of information is going to put the investigators on the right track. You know, Unabomber took years. People have to realize that a lot of times it just take a long time to solve.
God, for the Guthrie's sake, I sure hope that it's going to be shorter rather than longer, because it is excruciating not knowing.
I could not imagine being in their position. It doesn't matter how famous you are, what you do for a living. And I've dealt with families who go through similar things all the time. And not knowing is probably at this point worse than knowing what happened.
Yeah, that's the problem. And you could see it in Savannah's face and her voice, in everything she said, just the utter agony, as she said, that they're going through. Bob, thank you so much. I really appreciate you helping me sort of navigate through a lot of the stuff that I've been learning. It's every time I learn a new piece of the puzzle, I start over with what I think happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you for having me. Hopefully the investigators keep following up on every tip, and for the Guthrie and their family's sake, hopefully this gets solved, like you said, sooner rather than later.
Listen, I'm so happy to see all of you in chat. And what I'm even happier about is that there are people in chat that are saying exactly what I feel. That was the first time I've ever listened to Banfield where it was painful to get through. Painful. That guy, I understand he's retired, but retired from what?
I'm so glad you said that, Leonie, because I thought, did you pick up? I mean, is this just me? When she was asking him questions that had to do with the sheriff, he was like, well, you know, it's hard to say. But then when it was others, he come to life. He brought the life out to me.
Yeah, and half of what he said, I was like, what are you talking about? Like, are we even on the same case? But even that doesn't make sense on any case that I know about. And I'm not law enforcement at all. That, I mean, what he's talking about is all it takes is somebody that has some kind of common sense to be able to debunk what that man was saying. I have always, everything I've ever listened to Banfield, I've always been like, wow, great. Wow. This is the first time it was so painful. Yeah. So painful to get through that. That guy, I'm embarrassed for Banfield. Ashley, stay over here, honey. You're going to get much more from my sources, people in my chat, than you ever got out of that guy, because that guy's in left field somewhere. And I didn't agree with half of what he said. I didn't agree with half of it. Now, everybody has their own sources. Everybody has their own professionals that are retired this, retired that, or still involved. And going down the line, each one of them do kind of, you can see where their specialties. Like, you wouldn't want an eye doctor taking out your uterus. Okay, I'm a female, so I just said it. All right. You know what I mean? And I feel like you have to be careful who you're putting on your shows, because maybe this guy right here had absolutely nothing to do with this high profile of a case or this type of abducting or the blood splatter. I mean, what did he offer you guys that you were just like, good thought. Let me write that down and try to fit it. Nothing. I got nothing. I got nothing. Nothing. He retired early on, full pension, probably, name says. At this point, I'm just thinking he might have been a mall cop. I'm not trying to be mean, y'all.
I know, I agree totally with you, Lee.
I mean, I think the only thing the guy was driving was one of those little scooters around the mall, and he didn't even have a taser.
Not
He
on
didn't have
all.
nothing. Oh, that was so painful. I'm so glad it's over. I need a pill. Oh,
Okay, now.
okay, now. Lisa, what says you?
Sleep in your ears,
But the funny thing is, I have to say, when he first showed up on the scene and was talking to JLR, he seemed like he knew more. So I don't know whether, I don't know. He seemed very different here in this interview to what he was like when he was talking to JLR when he first showed up on
I can't
scene.
believe that. I didn't know he did.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, I think I might have checked out from time to time in my brain, because every time I hear something, my eyes are rolling, and I'm like, did I hear that right? And I can't rewind it because we're playing it live, and I'm like, you've got to be fucked up.
I almost felt like it was as if he'd been made to like dumb it down a bit, tone it down or something. I don't know, but it just, that was very different to the first time I ever heard him speak.
He just was given nothing. He was like, oh, I don't know. I thought, fucking hell, do you know anything?
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Maybe he's scared doing it, being so open on a show like that than what he was when he was talking to JLR. I don't know, but I don't know. It was strange.
Maybe. Hello, Honeycomb Intuition. Actually, really, really love your name. Missy, let me say, I know you are questioning Mike. I think it's Mike. Yeah, Mike H about how she was supposed to quit crying on the videos that she did. Look, there's many of us that have thought the crying was an act. Now, do I believe it all was an act? No.
Oh.
Am I for sure it was an act at any point? I don't know. But I can tell you right now, Hoda Kotb, I was just like, girlfriend, shut the hell up. I believe that was an act. But whatever Savannah did, who knows? And he's given you, he said maybe she should have eaten a gummy and she wouldn't have cried. But I know there are a lot of people that do believe that Savannah was a total fake act. So I could see where Mike would say that's not a big deal. We all have the right to believe whatever we want to believe. We just have to be adults about it. And listen, I love a good debate. I've always said that. I love a good debate. And as long as you can handle it in an adult way, then let's go. If not, then we shut it down. We'll try again another day when we're all feeling better. Because y'all, that man did my head in.
Oh, in as well. I know. I'm glad you said. I'm fuming. I never said it earlier to you, though.
Oh, Maggie, I was checking in and out. I was like, what the fuck is going on in my life right now?
In case you show the zettel. I had to keep my eye on in case you show the zettel. I was fuming.
I know. I'm so sorry. Well, I think that just goes to show, listen, it just goes to show just because you've got some letters or numbers behind your name, it doesn't mean that you're smart and that you know everything. So we're just going to leave it at that. I'm sure he was good at his job somewhere, whatever
he
can't
have been in the job long, can he? Because hasn't he been, I'm sure he said he's been retired 13 years. He's not that old. So
he's a mall cop, y'all. I'm telling you, I think he knows. Listen, do better, Ashley, because I'm a little
let down by you tonight.
We're let down. Yeah. We knew we should have just played fucking Nancy Grace. Yeah, listen, when all else fails, and even if it doesn't fail, start off with old Nancy. She's my boo thing, y'all. I love me some Nancy Grace, and never have I been. some of her guests piss me off. But Nancy's already on it. She's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Stop
Imagine
it right
Nancy with him.
there.
Hey,
Chris
imagine Nancy
Madonna.
Grace with him.
Christmas. Yeah, she would have shut him up. She'd have said, cut his mic. Cut his mic.
Get him
Next.
off.
Chris Madonna, get on panel. We're done with that fucker, that mall cop. Bring Chris Madonna up.
Oh, Chris McDonough. I always feel sorry for him.
I know.
I know.
You know they got to have the greatest relationship,
They
though.
must have.
Really, I mean, really. Listen, she's my boo thing. Y'all love me some Nancy. Oh man! All right. So unless Ashley comes now, I watched that with you. If I had watched that earlier, I'd have been like, "There's no fucking way I'm playing Ashley on this one." Usually I love.
Today, oh my god! And I didn't want to say nothing in case you wanted to watch it.
Oh no, I don't care. You just say, Leanie, like we're not watching that trash. That was straight up a waste of my time. Let's pull up. I don't know, something else. Anybody but what just happened here. And we apologize. We do apologize. And she is the GOAT, Mike. You are correct about that. I believe Nancy is the GOAT. Listen, I used to hate Nancy. I couldn't stand her. Alex said I was waiting for some new information. Well, there's some time wasted. Yeah, we were too. But I used to hate Nancy so bad. And then the older I get and the pissier I get and the more mad I get and the more bad attitude I'm developing, I'm like, I'm digging Nancy. Tell it like it is, girl. Tell it. Who are we trying to hide our crazy from? We ain't trying to hide our crazy. You get to a certain age, we don't give a fuck. Shit. We just don't. We're putting it all out there. You can, God bless my daughter, 221. You can like us or hate us. That's on you. Do whatever you want to with it because we're not hiding our crazy here. We live that life already, y'all. We put our makeup on every day. We put them high heels on. We ruined our backs. All right. We nursed our babies. We did all that. We're done with the shit.
We could have interviewed Julie.
I know.
Oh, God.
I'm fascinating.
Fuming. She's talking about all the others and she hasn't mentioned you. Give it time. Give it time.
Y'all let them know I'm fascinating and I'm fucking funny. That's all that matters. All right, listen, y'all, we've been on here for 3 hours. We need to cut it loose. This is what a joy kill. But you know what? At least we got a good laugh and we know who not to listen to next time. Anytime that dude with the funky hairs on, that's got that still sporting the what did they got? My kids used to call it a faux hawk. Yeah. Any grown ass man over the age of 45 that is sporting a faux hawk, y'all, negative. We will not watch that person. He is a mall cop. All right. Listen, here we go. All right. We are going to say goodbye. I'm going to say goodbye right now and let Maggie close this one out. Let Lizzo close this one out. Thank you to my sisters that are over there in the English territory. Listen, we're coming up on 250 years of being a country because we had to get the hell away from you. And here I started in according to Leanie, and my best BFFs are from all over the world. Some being right there from what the hell my people ran from and started a whole new country. What says you? You know the king's coming. I'm gonna head on up to Washington and see if homeboy wants to have high tea with me and the Donners. Oh, Donald Trump. I'll be like, listen, boys, let me tell you something. We're gonna have some high tea going on up here in this White House. Melania, stage right. Camille, or whoever the hell you are, homewrecker, the homewrecking queen, we're going to need you to step aside too because you will be boring. She'd be boring as fuck at that high tea. But you know what? Me and the Donald and old King Chuck, y'all, we're going to have a blast. We're going to have a blast. All right. So with that being said, I love you guys so much. Thank you for the support. Thank you for being here. Hit the like on your way out because we didn't hardly get any likes this time, but that's okay. We don't mind. We got a couple on the side that we'll throw in, I'm sure. No, it
I
doesn't
think
work that
we
way,
pulled
but
the
it's
legs
okay.
back when that fella was talking. But Lainey, you can't leave anyway.
Do I
Because you remember
can't?
the conversation about streaming?
Oh, I'll
You
just
gotta
drop
wait.
down. I will wait. Yes, because we got to figure that out while we're here. Yes.
So I've got to play our little song.
Okay. I'm going to I'll just jump down to backstage. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for the support. It means so much.
Thank
Hope to see
you.
you guys. Hope to see you guys around sometime. Listen, at nighttime, 12 to 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are going over.
Bloodthirsty Lainey will be on.
Bloodthirsty Lainey will be on with the Shad Theron murder trial of Taylor Shabusiness. I'm giving it the Shabusiness, y'all, on this channel. So if you're up late or you've got insomnia, come hang out with us overnight. We have a lot of fun there and in chat as well, watching that court case. Thanks everybody for being here. Thanks Max. Thanks Liz. And thanks to the mods. Love you guys so much. Bye.
Thank you, dear. I shall speak to you in a minute. Let's play. Thank you too, Liz. And we're going to play some music. Liz, you can't leave because apparently you'd have to stay a few minutes in StreamYard and backstage until it's uploaded. This is what I'm hearing. I heard it actually on Chris McDonough's this morning. He said he asked his panel guests to stay. So I said to Eleni, I'm not sure whether it's right or he just wanted to speak to them privately and that was his way of doing it. But I looked it up and it says just so it uploads, to make sure it uploads and then to the cloud and then you can go. Good night, everyone. Thanks for being here. Please hit the like before you go. And it was good to see you all. And Lenny will be back, Lisa. Good day, everyone, and good night wherever you are in the world. Bye-bye.
Bye. Love yous.
Bye, guys.
Life is hard and life is wild. It can be sad or full of smiles. And every once in a while, you need a break from the mundane. So come back to see your friend, or she'll wonder where you've been. According to Leanie, she appreciates you and all that you do. You need her, but she needs you, and that's the beauty of according to Leanie. So thank you for your time. You are a friend of mine. I'll be happy to see you again on the next According to Leanie. Be good or be good at it. Until next time, love Leanie, love Leanie, love Leanie. Next time, love Leanie, love Leanie. Life is hard and life is wild. It can be sad or full of smiles. And every once in a while, you need a break from the mundane. So come back to see your friend, or she'll wonder where you've been. According to Leanie, she appreciates you and all that you do. You need her, she needs you, and that's the beauty of according to Leanie. Be good or be good at it. Until next time, love Leanie, love Leanie, love Leanie.